Okay, so we're up. Do you remember that? That's your camera there.
Okay.
And I'd say, just like before, we're still on during the commercials.
Yeah.
Yesterday on the way to the event. It's still under investigation why a garbage truck was on the tracks. The truck driver was killed, 2 passengers in the truck injured. The FBI and NTSB remain at the scene.
The signals team, as it's called, trying to determine if indeed one of the culprits or factors was a faulty rail crossing.
Fox's Rick Jenkins also at the scene in Crozet, Virginia.
See what the knucklehead from CNN said about that? God's working hard by putting that truck on the tracks to...
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. I don't know what his name is.
The whole immediate Trump thing is
it's a circus.
really
Some of the jabs are just so far out there. I mean, no matter whose politics you care for or like, some of the jabs are just so out of line.
And I don't like what Trump says a lot of times.
Get rid of that stuff. Hey man,
They're just
I want you to do this. Ross had everything on.
they're just dumb.
Hey, Clint, you guys sit over here. I gotta have the headphones.
Oh, okay.
That's yeah.
That works for me.
You should be good to go there. I didn't know you said that. That holy cow.
Yeah.
God,
They
even though someone died.
Yeah. Said God must be working hard to put that truck on the tracks.
Not
All
one
the
page
GOP
53
guys on
page
the
lease
train.
is signed. And
And there's no
stickers
GOP
lease.
people hurt, right?
I don't think so.
They're trying to claim she owes for a year. That's why they're offsetting her year lease for the stuff in the garage. That's what they're doing.
Oh, they're offsetting what?
What they're doing is the stuff in the garage.
Yeah.
They're saying that she owes a year of her lease.
Why?
Because
Why does she owe a year?
they're not letting her out of a lease.
But she didn't sign the lease.
She didn't sign the lease. They didn't sign the lease.
We have to sue them.
So they're trying to stick her to yeah. But they also really need to be chastising the air. This place is bad, real bad. I don't often get some places this,
We're
usually you can work with people to some degree. I've only got a couple that are probably going to be Sleeves Brigade people. Is that the chair that's your chair, the one you like the most? Even some of the toughest people, I find I can work with them some, but boy, these people are just...
The apartment complex. Hey, Clint, just
Yeah.
as I heard you say that they can't have a lawyer in small claims court.
No.
Yes, they can.
Oh, they can?
The defendant can, and then they got to give the opportunity to the
to transfer
plaintiff
it.
to
Wait a
have
minute.
one.
No,
Attorneys are not allowed in small claims court. They're not allowed. And if somebody gets an attorney to represent them, it's because they're a corporation.
they want to transfer
And
it.
then they have to give the defendant the plaintiff the same right. But usually it's put into county court. I mean, the whole idea, what you're talking about is if you sue a corporation and they lawyer up, the relaxed rules of evidence still apply. They can't pull any fancy bullshit work. And if you want, you can have an attorney come in too. But it doesn't matter because they can't speak like attorneys. They can't bring up fucking common law. They can't, well, they can, but they can't use rules of procedure as in regular civil court. So it's just bullshit. So they're there as people, not as attorneys. The only reason that's allowed is when it's a corporation and there's no individual you're suing. Like when Mark sued Uber or when you sue someone, that entity sends in either the registered agent or an attorney.
But they didn't even go to court. I mean, that was
Well, of course they did. But if they did, the attorney would be allowed in that instance only when you're suing a corporation. But if I sue you in small claims court, you can't lawyer up.
The other reason I've seen the corporation
Unless you want to move it.
bring the attorney in is just to ask to move it to
county court where they can. But they have to do it for a reason. It has to be a reason. It has to be a countersuit.
Something scary, bro.
It has to be a countersuit.
Oh, it has to be a countersuit.
You can't just move it up to punish somebody. You can't do it. So if I want to move it to county court, it's because I have a counterclaim in excess of the amount.
Wow.
Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please?
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by Centeno Schultz. What do I mean by that? Well, stem cell therapy. If you want stem cell therapy, please insist on real docs. Centeno Schultz is the clinic that I endorse, and for a reason. They use real living stem cells. Today we have a guest, Raleigh House. We never limit our topics to one topic, but we do talk about a topic interwoven throughout the show. So if you have any questions on serious issues of addiction, of course, give us a call. Any question at all. There's nothing out of bounds. Or if you're an addict and you'd like to call and ask questions, of course your privacy will be protected, your anonymity will be protected. Just give us a call and we would love to talk to you. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, Centeno Schultz does true living stem cells harvested from you at their clinic and then redelivered with imagery. Always insist on real MDs, always insist on true living stem cells. Stem cells cannot be, they absolutely cannot be shipped in. So if someone says they're shipping in fluids and they're not yours, they're not living stem cells. It's that easy. No matter what they say, it is not true, not living stem cells. Centeno Schultz has been in the business from the beginning. They have 14,000 patients to draw from, databanks of satisfied people, knees, hips, back, shoulders, hands. They've had success. ACL tears, they've helped and cured with needles instead of a knife. 303-963-9201. 303-963-9201. That's Centeno Schultz on my referral list at referrallist.com. Welcome to the show. And we have a lot going on today. Okay, where is my show sheet? I guess I don't have it. All right, can I have that, please? Thank you. Julian is with us from the Raleigh House. And if you have any questions on addiction, I really urge you to call. Right now, let's go to Lisa and Brian. Are they both? Is this a problem together? Okay. What was the issue there? Can you tell me what the issue was? I guess I don't know about this.
It's an update on water heater.
What happened? Do you know?
Can you turn on my headphones?
Yeah, so they had a water heater. They've had it for like 18 months, Lisa did, and it was leaking around there. The company did come out there that originally put it in there, but they said there was nothing wrong.
Okay, so she was upset with the original company.
Right.
She was upset because she said they did a bad job.
Right, and so they wouldn't come out.
And the water heater never worked for her?
No. The water heater worked, but it was leaking.
Okay, and that was Lisa.
Right.
So, Lisa, you had trouble from the beginning when you had this water heater installed. Is that right?
No, actually, the water heater worked fine. It started leaking a couple of weeks ago. And so we called the original company out.
Okay, so it started leaking a couple of weeks ago. How long did you have the water heater?
18 months.
Oh, so it was a year and a half later. Okay. And when you called the original company, what happened?
They kept on coming up with different excuses, I guess, on why they thought there was water on the floor. Anything from our house.
Didn't they say it was condensation or something?
They said it was condensation. Our house was too humid. It was coming from another pipe.
You didn't like the answers. To make a long story short, you did not like those answers.
Right.
So we asked our experts at Fix It 24/7 to go out there and look at it for you. And I want to bring them up to find out what they found. But we really wanted them to give us a perspective. And so let's talk to them. And by the way, they're a very good company. And Brian, you went out there to look at this water heater. What did you find, Brian? Hi, Brian.
Yeah, so, hi, how you doing?
Good. What did you find, sir?
we got there and we noticed that there had been some water around the concrete from the water heater there that was coming out of the bottom of the water heater.
What was it from? Did you fix it? What was it?
Yeah, so, you know, after some investigation, our two plumbers were there, and
yeah,
we found a couple things, and really what the root cause of it was is they had a circulation pump put on the water heater, and what that does is it pumps the hot water through the house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Man, that's not totally a bad idea. It's called a hot water loop. Is that a bad idea if you want to have, like, almost instant hot?
Well, you know, there's a better solution. It's something called a comfort pump, which is kind of more set on a timer.
Oh.
So just like with anything, if water's running constantly, it can create some erosion, and that's kind of what had happened. It created some fissure cracks in the bottom of that water heater.
You mean that this new water heater, a year and a half old, was cracked?
Yeah, there was some water coming out of the bottom, and, you know, I don't know what was said with the previous company, but what we did is we processed it under warranty. We took it to the supplier and processed it under warranty. You know, it did take some. We had to come up out of pocket to purchase the tank, and we'll get our money back, you know, through the warranty
Fix
process.
It, and I want to make this clear. Fix It 24/7 was not the company originally involved in this. This is they went there for us, Lisa, and they managed to get this covered under warranty.
Yeah, and that's what we had originally asked the original installers to do, and they were fighting that, and Fix It came out, and within 2 hours they had looked at our water heater, gone out, picked up another water heater, and were installing it.
Isn't that great?
Great.
That is really good. Lisa, thank you for the follow-up. And Brian, that was really, really good work. Honest to goodness, to go out there. So instead of doing a circulation around the whole house with all of the hot water, there's a better solution. And what is that? What do you guys do at Fix It 24/7 for hot water loops?
You know, we do something called a comfort pump, and what that does is you can set different timers on it for, you know, when you typically we take a shower at the same time every day. You're going to be home at night after work, where you still get that on-demand hot water, but it's not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Oh,
I get it. So you kind of predict the behavior, and that puts in hot water when you need it. But even if you use it off the timer, you're still going to get hot water. You just have to wait a little longer, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's something, you know, the size of the client's home there, you know, definitely is something that I can see why they put that recirculation pump, but you know, there's a better solution, and, you know, we offered that to the client as well. And, you know, just one other side thing to note, Tom, is, you know, there was some, we ended up pulling the permit on this job because I don't think the original company had pulled the permit, and there were some code things that we had to correct just to make them, you know, get their water heater in and up to code and up to standard. So we took care of that for them as well.
Thank you, Brian, at 24/7 Fix It. Lisa, I hope you understand these guys did what your original company should have done.
Yes, absolutely. They were fantastic. Roy and Marshall came out and answered many and all of my questions. So they were great.
I'm glad. And now you'll know who to call, Lisa, when you need something. Fix It 24/7. That's where you pay $39, just $39 to get a professional in your home. And they come out and tell you what's wrong. For $39, you don't even have to get it fixed. They'll do all of the diagnostics no matter how long it takes. If you decide to get it fixed, they fix it and credit you the $39, so you're not even paying for the call if you have the work done. And you'll never have that level of work, that level of service for that price. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. FixMyHome.com.
Glass. And if that glass is bad, they go bad in about a year and a half.
Well, the sacrificial anode makes it last longer because that allows,
that helps.
That allows that sacrifices itself instead of the tank. In fact, theoretically, if you can have a sacrificial anode replaced every 3 years, you'll never replace a water.
That's what I've heard the same thing. Yeah, that you can. That it will always. How's it going, Julian?
And you're well yourself.
You've seen them in the motorhomes, haven't you?
The sacrificial anode?
Yeah, because those damn tanks, the little 80-gallon tanks in the motorhomes are expensive. So they put the sacrificial anode in where the plug goes. to save on. That circulation system, my son does those down there.
What's the most common question you guys are getting online?
Yeah.
It's usually centered around telling if a loved one is abusing substances, or what's the
they
best
want
way
to
to
know what the telltale signs are?
that, and what's the best way to talk to a loved one about getting them into
Okay.
into treatment. Those are probably the two biggest ones.
Okay, cool.
Consistent.
Most of your calls come from the family rather than
I'd say kind of 70-30 family to self-calling.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would think it would be that way too.
Yeah.
The level of denial's pretty high. People I know have had trouble.
Yeah.
No, I got it under control. Yeah, they do. That's why you just got your third DUI, dumbass.
Yeah.
Somebody got a third DUI and got an 18-month prison sentence.
You got a
Third DUI. Is it so many years?
Well, actually, he got 3 DUIs in 6 weeks, so. I mean,
Why did he have a license? Well, he didn't have a license.
well, he did, and he had to, and then when he did get it back, he had to pay for the thing to blow into.
That guy's got a problem.
Oh God, well, yeah. My youngest daughter finds boyfriends that are, every one of them has some kind of problem. Most of them have had substance abuse problems.
I think there's a number of different warning signs. That's one of them. I think also kind of being withdrawn. It also depends if you're encountering them when they're actively using the substance, because it may be that they are overjoyed and just want to talk,
And then nothing.
yeah, and then you get the flip side. I'd say some of it's also those really kind of big polar swings in terms of kind of their behaviors, being withdrawn, being kind of overly chatty, aggression.
On time for my time. Listen, I got to tell you something. The painkiller thing, the reason it gets to people is because after the pain's gone, it still feels good.
Yeah. If you truly have
In other words, I took it for real pain,
yeah.
and I remember thinking, oh, this is so cool, I feel so good.
It
And then when it was over,
yeah.
here's what I did. I'd say, oh, you know what, I have some left. I think I don't really have pain, but I ought to just finish it. Seriously.
Yeah.
Now when it's over, I know it's over, but I, honest to God, can see why, because I remember thinking, this was like years ago, when I had some back problems. I almost liked it, like maybe, let's say a couple months, 6 months go by, and the doctor says, well, maybe I should get you some pain. I remember thinking, yeah, that'll be cool. That is, I swear to God, that is a natural thing. It's not like it's an unnatural thing. It just feels good.
Well, it's endorphins, yeah.
It feels good. And to tell someone, okay, I know it feels good, now go back to feeling shitty, it's very difficult.
And I broke my back and my hip, and I was on painkillers. That was how I ended up going to heroin.
And you get used to it.
The longer you're on them, and
But the more it hurts.
Once your body becomes physically dependent, it becomes harder to differentiate between the withdrawal pain with opiates and the actual injury itself.
That's exactly.
And that's where, especially
So
with
you
the pain
talk
management
yourself
clients.
into using it because you're feeling pain, and the pain is from the fucking addiction.
Yeah. So that's where really working with pain management clients.
And not only that, it makes your body more sensitive to pain, which is the ironic thing.
Yeah.
Is your pain receptors become so tweaked when you take that shit that anything hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting balance in working with pain management clients.
I'm in pain management.
Tom,
I gotta stop taking Tylenol.
that daughter's up that.
I don't take it every day, but it hurts.
That Kathy would be a good one to take, just for the fact that she couldn't hold yesterday.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome.
Julian is with us, Julian Duran from the Raleigh House, and I asked him, we have that special hotline, and it's not really a hotline like a crisis line, it's an information line. I remember when Julian and I and the gang, the owner, and we all sat there and talked about what we should do, and I said, let's make this, and we all agreed, an information line, not a sales line, not, hey, sign up now. They don't do that crap. To talk about addiction, and I asked, what was the number one question? What do you think it is, people? What do you think the number one question people who call in with addicts? What do you think? So, Julian, you say, how do I know? What do I look for? Is that what it is?
I'd say generally loved ones are concerned with really the warning signs.
But they don't know for sure.
Yeah, that's when they're in really the contemplation stage of figuring out if their loved one is truly struggling with addiction.
And so what you have to do is kind of look for things. Moodiness, withdrawal, and then all of a sudden happiness. You
Absolutely.
said overly happy.
Yep, big polar swings in terms of moods and behavior, strong aggression, then followed by almost a manic sense of happiness, and things that are just out of the norm for that person's behavior. Also, obviously when there's some issues with financial pieces as well, and dishonesty around those, those are always some big warning signs as well.
And then, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Kathy, welcome to the show. What's going on, Kathy?
Hi there. I just wanted to see if you knew of some resources. We have a 17-year-old daughter, and we're having a lot of problems. We just had 6 police officers at our house last night.
Okay.
And
17 years old. And what do you mean problems?
No alcohol, no drugs.
You know that for sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we are just very aggressive, lack of self-confidence, but she's been attacked me,
How long has this behavior been going on, Kathy?
Probably since we've had, outbursts since she was young, like 5 years old, but as she gets older, it's gotten incredibly worse.
Have you taken her to counselors, possibly for somewhat of a diagnosis?
We've been going to different counselors. Nobody's really said anything. We've just been trying to work with her on attitude and self-confidence, but there's no remorse. There's no...
Now, wait a minute. When you go to a counselor, what do they say it is? Or have you been to psychiatrists or psychologists?
We keep trying to get to a psychiatrist, but we keep getting, we only deal with adults, or they won't call us back.
There are plenty of child psychiatrists, plenty of them, and counselors. Julian, you must.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of once you find a psychiatrist or a therapist, we really have to find a good fit for your daughter. And in terms of resources, I'd be happy to try and help guide you towards some adolescent resources if it is more on the behavioral health side. Even if she hasn't begun, or even if there is no kind of substance abuse history, that doesn't mean that there aren't a bunch of resources out there that we can't help you to find and hopefully pair your daughter with someone that'll be a good fit.
No, you need that, Kathy. You can't deal with it. It could be something serious. It's not. It could be. Let's put it this way: more than just she's pissed off. It could be more than just a bad girl, so to speak. I mean,
I know that's what we're worried about. We've been trying. And
how does she do in school?
Fairly good. Fairly good.
She doesn't act out in school?
No, not outside of the home.
Really?
Are there any specific triggers that bring this behavior on, or any kind of environmental, or just any times that you specifically notice this coming up more often than not?
She does math triggers her. She doesn't understand math. She does get triggered by stressors at school. She gets triggered by stressors at home. We have to get going to go to school on time.
And when you say she attacks you, what are we talking about?
Oh, I've been punched in the stomach and I've been down on my knees for about a half hour. I couldn't get back up.
And what does she do? Does she feel badly about it?
No, there's no remorse.
What is...
It's you did something to piss me off.
And Kathy, she's a twin, right? And your twin, her sister's okay?
She's totally opposite. They're
Wait a minute.
Night and day.
She has a twin sister, totally different.
Yeah.
Does she hurt the twin sister?
I found out the other day when they were younger, they're really actually really close and they're really good to each other. But she has her twin admitted that she had hit her.
Is she involved in sports or group things with other kids?
No, they've never really been sporty type kids.
Are they nerds?
They're kind of nerds, yeah.
Do they do video and games and all that kind of stuff?
No, They don't. They're not on Facebook. They're not.
What is your girl's interest?
She actually wants to be a cop. She's
the one that acts out.
Yeah, she wants to be a cop. She wants to help people and things like that. And I think she.
So how often does she do this with you?
Oh, it's pretty much on a daily basis. I mean.
Now, when the cops went there, what did they go there for? You called them?
We called them because she was threatening to take off, and we.
And what did the police do?
They talked to her, and she even got naughty and rude with them. And one of the police officers, he was about ready to
arrest
take
her
her down. I think. Yeah, they put her in handcuffs, but.
And what did she do?
She just got cocky with them, and she's calmed down a little bit.
Does she have good friends?
She has one good friend, and then quite a few other friends.
What do the friends say? Do they ever say anything about her? Do they understand her? Does she act out with them?
She's acted out with them when they've come over here, yes.
What, like what?
She's just thrown things around and talked, really incredibly rude to her mom and dad, and just been shitty. I don't know what other way to say it.
Okay, hold on. I put her on. I got it. Did you know I got it, Drew? Okay. So listen, Kathy, I can't use that word. You can say crappy or something. Hey, Drew, we didn't double hit it, right? I did it. Okay, good. So I'll just let that build up. Here's the deal, Kathy. I do want to talk to you. You just can't use that word, the S-H-I, that word. So here's the deal. You definitely need, you need professional help. There's something going on with that girl. There is something going on with her.
Tom, I was thinking, did she have a brain injury of some sort?
There's something going on.
I think either way, without, even looking at all the behavior, she still just needs to get in front of a professional. Without that, we're really just kind of taking a shot in the dark without seeing a psychiatrist or a licensed therapist.
Kathy, are you willing to have her go to a counselor?
Well, we are previously with a counselor for about a year now, but it's...
Well, then something's wrong. Does she go alone to this counselor?
Yeah, sometimes, and then we trade off as a family.
Have you, in a year, you haven't found anything out? Then there's something wrong.
It may also be not a good fit. Sometimes it takes several different therapists. It really is a very personal relationship with the therapist, and it really is. There's something to be said for finding one that fits, and it's not each one is going to be a perfect match. So it may take a little bit of hunting.
Does she like the therapist?
Yeah, she actually does. That's why we stayed with her.
And does the therapist do any good, though? Does the therapist give you any insight?
A little bit, but she keeps kind of candy coating everything, and we're like, we can't keep candy coating it.
Well, then you need another opinion.
And that's where we want a psychiatrist to see.
And in some cases, it may be she just needs some tough love, like juvenile hall or something. I mean, I don't know what to say. If she's gonna, if she thinks she's really, really that tough, she might find out differently when she's in with really tough people and find out. You're teaching her she gets away with it. That's what you're teaching her.
Well, that's what we're trying not to do. That's what we're trying to tell the counselor.
So Kathy, I really, the people at the Raleigh House, in order to be in the business they're in, they have to know a lot of things about behavior and people, and you just let Julian see if he can find someone.
That would be great.
Okay, hold on, and then can you get her information, and we'll give it to Julian, and then Julian from the Raleigh House, one of the counselors, can see if he can at least give you some resources to draw from. You're going to have to do something like that. 303-713-TALK. Adam, what's going on with your carpet, Adam?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, man.
I ordered some carpet a couple of weeks ago, carpet and pad. They were going to come out this morning and install it.
Where did you go?
Carpet Exchange.
Okay.
The installer showed up, and they found out that there's a tile underneath the existing carpet, and it might have asbestos from the 60s.
As I understand it, though, if you don't disturb it, you're allowed to go over it.
They said their policy is not to touch it, so they dumped the carpet and pad in my garage and took off.
Well, that's crappy. Hey, can you call us, Daff? I keep wanting to say Suzanne. Suzanne and Mark have a few days off. Daff, call Simply Floors, Buddy Mitchell. I want to ask him about that. I'm sure he's run into it. Hold on a second, okay? And we'll try to get an expert on to talk about it. 303-713-TALK. Tom, what's going on with you, sir? Tom?
Yes.
What's going on with you, man?
Morning, Tom.
Hey, man.
First of all, Tom, I want to thank you for helping me several years ago. You helped me get money back from an unscrupulous company, so thank you for that.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. So what can we do for you now, man?
Well, in July last year, I had a Bloom's Architectural Concrete come out and install a long driveway back to a new shop that
I see your contract.
Yep, and everything was fine up until a couple of weeks ago. I went to use a quick lift to lift my car off the ground, and the minute the weight of the car got on the lift, it would stop, and the stereo would shut off in the shop, just all kinds of crazy stuff.
What was it?
Had the electrical contractors come out. Two of them spent a whole day trying to find out the problem, and they put a fish tape through the conduit that runs the electrical lines from my house out to the new garage.
Is it a 220?
There is 220 going out to the garage, yes, sir.
All right, so the reason that the lift could not lift your car is it's having a drop in voltage, so something was damaged on the power line.
Exactly.
What happened?
When I ran a power cord from my lift to the other side of the garage, it would work fine. So what they found is right at the foundation of the garage, where the conduit goes in about a foot away from the garage foundation, he had hit the conduit with a skid steer. You could see
the skid. Okay, so hold on. So we got to see, is this guy responsible? Can you go after him? Can you prove it? We'll talk about that coming up. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, we've been talking about garages and we talked about floors. And listen, when it comes to anything, buy and build. Anything in your house, any interior finish items in your home, whether it be tile or flooring, hardwood flooring. You can also look at cabinets and granite, and you can look at light fixtures and plumbing fixtures. Man, is there a lot of money to save at buyandbuild.net, 4800 Washington Street. I always joke with Courtney and say it's a big, ugly warehouse, because it is, but it's not like dirty ugly. It's just ugly, and it's got so many great deals. What it doesn't have in frills, he has in thrills. If you look there, you'll find vessel sinks for probably 10 times cheaper than you can buy them in a store. I'm not kidding. I bought cabinets for my garage only because they were so cheap. I bought them for $1,400. No, it was $2,400 with all of the granite and a whole garage full of cabinets. $2,400 that at the big box stores they wanted like 14 grand. Buyandbuild.net, 4800 Washington Street. You got to go see him. 303-295-6022.
Hi.
So, it's amazing how many people go to heroin for painkillers. You want to know why? Why do you think? It's cheap. Yes.
Yeah.
And easier to get for some of them.
Because they're really cracking down on opiates, right?
Well, especially after the days of kind of doctor shopping in Florida with the pain clinics, when you could go get bottles of 80 milligram Oxycontins anywhere, go to 4 doctors, get 4 prescriptions, and since that kind of clamped down on all the overdose deaths. Also, the other interesting thing with the war in Afghanistan, that's where most of the, I think it's like 80% of the world's opium production is done there. And so that's what flooded the whole East Coast with the kind of powdered heroin as opposed to the tar that comes up from Mexico.
Okay, so it's tar that's coming up from Mexico then.
Yeah, you get the powdered stuff on the East Coast. That's all coming from Afghanistan and that part of the world, or just the Middle East in general.
So the people using heroin, are they shooting it up?
Yeah, I'd say, a lot of people start by snorting or smoking.
What is this? I saw this, and somebody told me it was heroin. There were squares of tin foil.
Oh, yeah, smoking
with a
on
burn
foil.
mark on them. And they were all over this parking lot. And I picked one up and I said, what is this? They say they put the powdered heroin in there and then light a match underneath the foil.
Yeah, you burn it and run it from one side to the other, and that's what the trails are.
But then you breathe it in.
You break like a pen tube open, and you hold the pen and you smoke it like that.
Buddy and everyone at Simply Floors are all in Vegas. Mark took them with him. No, I'm kidding. They're all at a big conference or
I
something.
need to know if you don't disturb it. Is it okay? We need to know. Do we have any?
If you
Can you ask Mark Szymanski?
I'll call Mark Szymanski.
Tell him if there's tile and you don't
I
disturb
did
it.
ask Kathy. Her daughter did have a brain injury or a bad head injury when she was
There's
3.
a TBI?
Sounded like sounds like
Yeah.
my son, and my son would do the
Yeah,
same
but he
thing.
doesn't do violence. He's the opposite.
There was a time where he did act up and get really angry. That's why I said
What kind of an injury did she have?
she didn't. I didn't have time.
Did
I
she
needed
say
to
it
call.
was a head injury?
She did. She said she
Okay.
was 3. She goes, oh, but that was when she was 3. I said, hon,
How old was
brain
Jared?
injuries are the rest of your
How
life.
old was Jared?
Jared was 8.
She said she started acting out at 5.
Uh-huh. And the thing is, well, yeah, I knew, as soon as I heard her talking, it sounded just like Jared. And I said, is she eating?
How did he get over it? He's like the least violent person in the world.
Well, a lot of it was just eating. It's really, truly, I said, is she eating? She said, no, she's not. I said, you need to increase her protein. I said, I am not a doctor.
Omegas as well.
Yeah, because your brain processes.
Man, omega-3s have done amazing
protein
things for
twice
head
as fast.
injuries. Amazing.
Well, NeuroSync helped Jared tremendously.
You got to tell her about
I did. I didn't want to step on toes or anything
No,
like
you're
that.
not stepping on it. No, chime in.
Okay, I'm going to
It
call
does.
Mark Szymanski.
I'm really surprised after being with a therapist that long that nothing was happening. She kept on going to him.
Will you be surprised when people get this idea that if they have the letters after their name, it has to be at work, but it really is such a personal relationship that's be built on trust, and all of these kind of pieces. So, I always encourage people don't stop at a therapist until you really are like, okay, this is a person that I can,
I see this is working. Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, there's lots of people with letters after their name, but it doesn't mean that they're good at what they do.
I was at breakfast with my kids, and this waitress says, "Oh, I'm feeling great." I mean, it's amazing how people talk to me. And she says, "I got off of painkillers." And I said, and she said, I heard you talking about lollipops. And she said, I just use kratom now. And I said, it's a weed. Yeah. And it's definitely less harmful than
It's a cannabinoid?
No, it has alkaloids in it that still attach to the opiate receptors.
But it's not an opiate.
Yeah, it's not an opiate. They just attach to the same
Now,
receptors.
it does have some habit-forming qualities, not as much. You can't really OD, they say, but people say they have.
You poison yourself, basically.
Here's the problem, that there's no way to dose it probably, because she was feeling great, all my pain's gone. That's called, he would refer to it as harm reduction, meaning at least she's not doing that. Oh, it's way better. But it's not. I mean, who am I to speak, but when you need something, right? But, and marijuana didn't work for her. But then I talked to her, then I went, because we go to this village inn, and she said that the places keep closing down because the government is shutting them down.
Yeah.
Yet it's not technically scheduled yet.
Yeah.
It's not against the law. But the cities are shutting down.
Yeah, it's a county.
Got a girl from the south side. Got brazen.
Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair is doing this repair special that is going off the hook. I love the way Mark Szymanski does business. Not Mark Szymanski, Mark Machowski. Mark Szymanski is Genesis. I know all the owners, by the way. Mark Machowski came up with this $89 plus parts. Will fix any problem, or it's free. Now, obviously, if your engine's out, he's going to say, hey, your engine's out, your transmission's out, your transmission's out. But here's the good news. When you go to Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair, you will never spend more than $89 plus parts for any problem, or you will get a free diagnostic. So if they take an hour to find out, oh my God, this is a major problem, you'll get that written diagnostic free with no obligation, and it will cost you nothing. But there's an 85% chance they can fix it for $89 plus parts. It's a cool special. Find fix or free, 89 plus parts. Budget A1 Transmission Auto Repair along Santa Fe, just south of Dartmouth. That's Santa Fe, just south of Dartmouth. Give him a call, 303-781-9858. He's been on my referral list now going on 20 years. 303-781-9858. Budget, A1 transmission, auto repair. Hey, let's talk. Speaking of Marks, there's Mark Szymanski with Genesis Total Exteriors. I need to ask him a question. That's why he's on. So, Mark Szymanski, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
This guy was having his floor done, and I'm going to bring him up right now. This guy is named Adam, and he said that Carpet Exchange, nothing against Carpet Exchange. I mean, they decided not to do the job because he had asbestos tile down. They left the carpet and padding and left. They said they're not going to pull up the other... well, Adam, did they pull up the other carpet?
No, they found out what was underneath and walked away.
Now, Mark, you're in construction, and I know in construction you do additions and stuff, and you must come across asbestos. I was always told, Mark, if you don't disturb it, if it's an asbestos floor and you're covering it with a carpet, you could do it. Yes, no?
Yes, I agree. Yes,
okay, because I mean, you have to do mitigation, serious mitigation, if you run across lead or asbestos, right?
That is correct. And, you don't have to do mitigation for lead. You just have to follow the proper procedures when you're working with it.
Okay, and what do you have to do for asbestos? You got to tent the whole area?
Yeah, you got to tent the area, and you have to put up a wash bay where you take a shower to get all the dust off of you so you're not taking the dust out of the contained area. So it's a big deal. But again, if he's just got carpet on top and he's pulling it off...
And then putting that down, it sounds to me like he's not disturbing it.
Right, correct. I mean, obviously you have, if you're pulling it up because it's glued to it, I'll say now some tiles start popping, well then you could have a problem there.
Uh-huh. So, okay, but in most cases you're saying undisturbed asbestos is fine.
Right, right.
Thank you very much. Now, hold on, Adam. I might have some advice. By the way, Mark Szymanski, GenesisTotalExteriors.com, and he does interiors as well, kitchens, baths, whole additions, and he's at 303-679-8509, 303-679-8509. Now, here's the deal. What are you going to do now? Here's what I think, Adam. I think you have every right to tell Carpet Exchange, I don't want it. Right?
That was my next question.
I mean, listen, you purchased this thing with installation, right?
Yes, I put half down and I was going to pay the rest today.
Well, I would call him and say, look, I appreciate your position, but I don't want the carpet then. I'm going to hire someone who will do it. That's the way I would handle it. I don't know what else to tell you. That's the way I would handle it. And then I would call Simply Floors. Or go there, Simply Floors, Inc. Now, listen, I'm not saying Buddy would do it, but for floor coverings, no matter what, I think it's lucky you have an excuse to get out of this because they're not completing the deal. Because Simply Floors, Inc. will probably save you 30-40% over the big boxes. Because he does things direct, and he has a big buying group he's part of. He's a small company, but that's good for you because you have personalized attention, free design services, and next to wholesale flooring. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Make your own appointment. He's also at 52nd and Ward with a showroom. And all of the hardwoods, laminates, luxury vinyl tile. SimplyFloorsInc.com. That's what I would do. Now, Tom, I didn't forget about you. Now, you have proof that he broke that line, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so the obvious thing is, did you call the excavator?
Yes, Bloom's Architectural Concrete. I did contact him and ask him to... First time I contacted him, he said, oh, so he hit the pipe. And I said, yeah, it looks like it. And he said, well, I'll be out later this week to look at it. So when they got it excavated, we could see the damage. I tried to get a hold of him. It took me a couple days.
Did you fix it already?
It's fixed now, yes.
How much did it cost you?
$3,200 some odd dollars. I don't have it in front of me.
That sounds a little hefty, but that's with excavation, repair, and then they had to cover it back up.
Well, they had to replace about 125 feet of 3 cables going from the house to the garage.
Why couldn't they splice it?
In a conduit underground, they said that's not the right thing to do. we don't want to splice this and have degrade over time and have an issue in the future.
In conduit, it shouldn't, but I'm not going to argue with them. They're the pro.
I didn't either, So
listen, I think this is a made for small claims court. Unless Deputy Dan, did you call Blooms?
No, not yet. So if we wanted to see what all was going on.
I think let's give them a call and say, look, it's a slam dunk, Tom. I don't know how you lose. How do you lose?
Well, and he had to have known this, Tom, because they showed me on the cables where they arced together. It would have popped a circuit breaker, and he would have had to have reset it. And some of the pieces from this pipe are missing. They also laid down caution tape over the pipe. I've got pictures of it, so...
Yeah, you got this down, bro. You got this.
I told him, hey, there's a cable here, and he was setting a French drain not very far from this, too. She said, well, I remember the conversation, Tom. He said, I'll dig here by hand.
All right, we're going to have Deputy Dan
Hey,
call.
Tom, so he did with the excavator also. First, said he was going to come out there. Then he said, hey, I'm covered, line 16 in my contract.
The contractor is not responsible for damaged electric lines, sprinkler lines. No, what that means is when he starts digging, he's not responsible for breaking stuff, the idiot. That's what that means. When you hire an excavator, you hire a locate service, right? And then they say, we'll do our best not to hit anything, but we're not responsible. I get it. They're not responsible. But that's not what it's saying. It's saying the stuff they put in. This is the job he was working on, for God's sakes. It wasn't hidden, was it?
It doesn't cover negligence in my opinion.
No, here's what I want to ask. The line that he broke, was this a new garage being put in?
The garage is built, and just the finishing up with the long driveway to it.
He was doing what in the garage project? What?
He was just doing the driveway. That's all he was responsible for in the French drain.
Okay. Now, to his defense, did you mark the lines?
Well, the lines were underground.
I understand that, but you do markers. I mean, when you hire people, you call for locates.
He did not call.
Okay.
He did not call for locate.
He did not. How deep was it?
18 inches at least, because it passed all city inspections.
Okay. Tom, this is a toss-up now, because I thought it was an open job they were working on. I did not realize it was complete and he was putting in the driveway. How would he even know it was there?
I told him.
Oh, you did?
Yes, that's what I said, Tom. I remember the conversation exactly.
What did you say?
Where the pipe was, and he says, I'll dig by hand over here.
Is he going to deny that?
I don't know. He's since gone silent. He won't, he just said, you want me to pay for this? And I says, well, yeah, you did the damage. And that's when things fell apart, and he said, he's not going to pay for it.
But Tom, also on this, he knew he hit it, but he didn't say anything.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
And that's the biggest thing, because that costs you more money. That is what you bring up in small claims court. Let's give him one more call, but I think small claims court, you'll win, Tom. Now, what Dan said is key. Even if he says, I'm not responsible for this, this, and this, by telling you, it would have saved you money, so you can at least get a large part of that, because the extra part is what you had to pay, because if you fixed it then, it would have been cheaper. You can make the argument. 303-713-8255. John Fuller, Fuller Law. If you're injured for any reason and you think it might be someone else's fault, don't sit on your rights. You got to call a personal injury attorney. No, we're not encouraging lawsuits. What we're saying is you need to know your rights. There are insurance companies for this, insurance policies, and you should not just sit by missing work, missing vacations, having pain, having suffering, and not be reimbursed. That's what the system is about. John Fuller can make sure you're fully compensated if you have a case, and he'll let you know. He'll let you know what it's worth. He'll let you know if it's worth pursuing. He'll let you know who he believes you should collect from, or if it's impossible to collect, he'll let you know. All the things you need to know, contact John Fuller, Fuller Law. PersonalInjuryCO.com is the website. 303-597-4500.
Yeah, because the conduit actually broke, and some of the pieces were taken out that didn't all match out.
No, that's wrong.
And they said it would have cost them $700 to fix it. They could have done it right away.
Where'd you go, big boy? We gotta get your follow-ups.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll leave that one
I want to
follow-up.
call that lady real quick about Adams County has a cadet program.
For what?
For kids, a cadet in the police department, the sheriff's department. She's unincorporated Adams County.
Hey, Dap, let's bring up head injury and stuff. Did you tell that mom to check that out?
Mostly cloudy today with a high near 39. Right now, mostly cloudy and 31. Your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30 K-How. This report is brought
Why does Mark and Suzanne asking me so many questions about scaffolding?
I couldn't hear you.
Did you tell that mom about personal injury? I mean, about head injury?
I
You
did,
tell her?
and I told her to call NeuroSync, and and you were just talking to her, right?
Yeah.
And I have her number too. I'm going to call her after because as soon as she started talking about it, it sounded just like Jared. And I know Jared seems very passive and quiet now, but when he doesn't eat, when he doesn't have high protein in his body, and things happen, he got into Rick's face, especially around 17 when his hormones were going berserk. Rick was, I had to kind of say, okay guys, and
The girls have the same hormone problems too.
yes, and it's
Find better services.
Working together, that's saved about 3 of them we've helped. We've had so many girls who've had to help. Luckily, they all came out okay.
It's Suzanne's kids that do taekwondo. Al is going to be on at 12:15. Pro out.
Why did her kids get in it? Bullying or just...
No, Mark just wants them to be able to kick each other's asses.
Hold on. Something's buzzing.
Mine's buzzing.
Okay.
As soon as we go back on, I'll call Bloom and see what will come on.
Who's that? Now, in airplane mode, it won't stop buzzing.
No, just silence it.
I got it silent.
Actually, in airplane mode, it should.
Yeah, you should get nothing.
It's still vibrating.
You can also just go into the general settings under volume, and you can have it to where when you click it on to silence, that doesn't vibrate.
Oh, wait a
I
minute.
got
I'm sorry.
I
It's
have
off
Tom's
airplane
number
mode.
Okay.
for Bloom and all that.
Okay.
Paul called in, but he was on Bluetooth. It was so bad. I said it's not going to work.
Which one was Paul?
He's going to send you an email.
Okay,
He already mentioned you.
Okay.
But I said there's no way if we can go on the air with it.
Okay.
And so we'll have to schedule it.
So choose Quicken Loans, America's #1 online.
Dan,
Yeah.
you know what
Or go to
Mark and Suzanne are doing? That they need a bunch of scaffolding?
It'd be for outside work.
Huh?
It'd been for outside work. I mean, they just had their furnace replaced, but
I've got a bunch of scaffold, wheels and jacks.
I wouldn't think he would want to do it.
What you had.
They're welcome to have whatever they
You are
want.
amazing what you had.
Just to keep all that stuff someplace.
Well, that's the trouble with the damn hanger.
I'm not going to ask questions, but I will say this. Guilty or
You get a hanger, you fill it up.
I didn't tell mine with airplanes.
With airplane. I know that's the problem. I've only got one airplane. We got a guy on our big hanger right now. It's one of those Lancer Legacies with a turbine.
Aren't they? Yeah. What is it, 400 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. 400 miles.
Pressurized.
Can you one? But I don't care what you say. That little son of a gun, I would feel weird up at 30,000 feet in that thing.
Where's that? He's an airline pilot. He's based out of...
What does he have? It's a two-seater, right? The Legacy?
I think it's 4. No. Might be. I don't know.
And it's a jet, right?
Turboprop, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a turbo.
Yeah, turbine.
So we're talking, that is a fast airplane.
Oh God, it looks so slippery. It looks like it's going on hell just sitting there. It's beautiful. Wow. Best part, people think.
Hi, Tom Martino here. The Raleigh House is with us, a premier addiction treatment facility. Julian, what is the percentages of addictions there?
I would say the main two addictions are always going to be opiates and alcohol.
What's number one?
I would say it fluctuates between opiates and alcohol.
You know, that's
right?
amazing to me that opiates have gotten right up there with alcohol, especially because they're technically illegal.
Yeah, and it's still really split between actual heroin and prescription painkillers, but you will see it shift from time to time, an ebb and a flow in between alcohol and opiates, and then followed by, you know, your things like stimulants, cocaine, methamphetamine, and other prescription narcotics like
What's the
benzodiazepines.
toughest of all of them that you guys deal with as far as helping?
Well, I guess in terms of actual risks, there is the detox symptoms from alcohol as well as benzodiazepines, which can include...
Are those tranquilizers?
That'll be like Valium, Xanax, clonazepam, things like that.
People get hooked on those?
Absolutely. Those are some of the most physically addictive medications. It can cause actually seizures and potentially cause death from the withdrawal symptoms if they're not properly mitigated with detox protocols and appropriate medical supervision.
So, wow, okay.
Alcohol and benzos have very, very similar detox symptoms, yes.
303-713-8255 if you have any questions whatsoever. And Stacy, what's on your mind, Stacy?
Yeah, so I was wanting to speak with someone about, I made a claim for hail damage to my house. Farmers came out, they approved the claim. I was struggling with a roofer. A friend of mine from work introduced me to someone she knew, Alan is his name, and he owns ACP Storm Repair. And he came out, they got the roof done quite quickly. And I had until August 27th, 2017 to dispute anything with insurance company.
Why? Who told you that? You only had until then for the insurance company.
I had a year.
Oh, okay. So,
365 days.
okay. So you're talking. I didn't realize a year had gone by. So, Stacy, let's get right to the problem with ACP Storm Repair. Is it something they did wrong?
Right. They were dragging their feet.
Well, what did they do wrong? Let's get to that part. What did they do? And by the way, your insurance, when you say you had up to a year, that's not to dispute work. They don't stand behind the work done. In other words, if you had work done and you didn't like it or it wasn't adequate, you can't go back to your insurance company, even if it was within a year. You knew that, right?
Right. No, what I'm saying is Alan was saying that he was fighting with the insurance company to pay more.
Oh, so Alan, the guy at ACP, he says that you have other problems that the insurance company did not see.
Right, and insurance wasn't going to pay it, and they were still fighting.
Give me an idea. Well, you should have definitely triggered what's called the arbitration process, and if you let a year go by, it's too late. What did he say was additional work needed?
He was just asking for more money. He wanted $27,000 or $29,000.
No, but was it for more work or for the work that the adjuster saw?
For more work, and
well, that's what I'm asking. Yeah. What more? So there are repairs that the adjuster did not account for. What repairs? Hold on a second. We need to know that, Stacy. There's an important reason I'm asking. And we have a couple lines open. Get right in. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I'm Tom Martino. We have the Raleigh House with us. You can ask any problems, questions, or complaints you have coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
Big storms bring those guys in from out of town that don't know what they're doing. All trouble.
I don't hear any of that one from Stacy.
You know, I'm on OxyContin, the time release.
I'm way too much. Really clean garbage with absolutely no residue, soap, stored chemicals. Only one way to do that is zero risk.
Yep.
I'm a step in every time I use them. My carpet no odors, fresh clean. And now enjoy zero res cleaning for just $119 for a 3-room area. That's
violent burning and shocks in my left foot. So the chronic pain, it eats itself up in there. But I don't know if I'll ever be off of that after 21 years of still having that problem unless they repair my back.
So I got a question there. Doesn't he build up the resistance and stuff? I mean, or is he just, because that seems like a whole lot of time to...
I know, 21 years, I've been on the same dose.
It's I mean, it's a balance, and that's where, I mean, a doctor needs to evaluate each case. I mean, I think, you know, it's not a black and white, like, on it or off of it. I mean, I think often sometimes it's looking into, with other physicians in terms of, are there ways to improve the quality of life and still, you know, deal with the pain and heal the injury? But I mean, there's always, I mean, I would never give up on that and trying to find something that's going to give you some kind of relief.
It's going to be stem cells.
I don't know how he's going to. It's going to be stem cells.
God Almighty! And
stem cells are going to do it. That's what.
Did you go to that thing yet?
No, it's the 14th.
Okay. Okay.
But
how many surgeries have you had?
6. But the 5 surgeries I've had that have done fusions.
If you don't take it,
I have no problems with it.
If you don't take the pain med, I mean, now you're over 60 mils, right? Milligrams a day.
44 times a day. It's 120 or 160.
It's pretty heavy dose.
I know it is.
But holy shit!
But I've had.
I can't even fathom 160.
But I have no side effects.
Okay.
They do
How
liver
long have you
function
been
tests.
on 160?
21 years.
Wait, no. You didn't start at 160.
No.
So you'd be dead.
No, in a year, they had to build me up over a year to get it to, well, it would stop and come back.
So how long have you been on that dose?
Probably at least.
Because it would take 4 years to build up to 160, wouldn't it?
I mean, it really depends on the situations that they're in, because, I mean, let's say when I started really heavily abusing, going from being prescribed 20 milligram instant release roxycodones to buying 40 and 80 milligram oxycontins and smoking them or IV shooting them.
How do you smoke a pill?
Put it on the foil and smoke it. Now they put chemicals in it to where you can't smoke it, but you can also still throw it in a spoon, break it down with water,
They chew them up.
draw it up and shoot it IV. I mean, there's a bunch of binders in there that are very damaging to your body.
It's really weird. The little pill is brown.
Mm-hmm.
You poop it out, it's white. But it's
Is it like the brown ones with the 40 on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns white when it comes
So
out.
you don't have any Tylenol in it at all?
No.
Those don't have any
No,
ASAP in them. They're just
No,
straight
the Tylenol's harder to
oxycodone.
deliver.
Yeah.
The actual OxyContin, I have liver
You
function
take
test
4
once.
of those 40s.
Yeah, but I got to be right on within a half hour.
Or what?
If the burning comes, if that burner shock comes back, sometimes I can't stop it with one.
But you don't get high.
No, never.
After this point, you probably wouldn't actually get that. Well, I mean, for someone that's like, I mean, if
But
you
if
didn't take them the way.
if he's on that much and it never increases,
This has been natural for me.
if
My
it
body.
but if it never increases, I guess what's the harm? I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
if truly you never increase, I find that hard to believe because bodies build up tolerance.
Right. That's what I was
I mean, if you're checking your liver values and all that stuff, and it's within range. I mean, I'm not the physician.
Yeah.
Where my concern would be in what I experienced from the opiate effects, even from when I was on long-term chronic pain care management, was what it does to the brain and actually depleting the neurotransmitters.
Yeah.
And that's where you might look into some amino acid therapy and those kind of things. While let's say you're not dying from that, the effects that it can have on your brain. And that's more for quality of life
The
kind of
pain
stuff.
I have,
hard to believe he hasn't built up a tolerance.
the pain I have has no volume pump on it. It's either there
On or off.
and my foot burns so bad that I smell skin burn. I smell the smell of skin burning in my nose. My brain is so convinced that my foot's burning that I actually smell skin burn.
You know,
And I mean, it brings tears down the cheek.
somebody with nerve pain like that had an amputation because they couldn't take it.
Yeah.
I swear to God, and he still had it.
The phantom pain.
And he couldn't believe it. He's in a wheelchair, and I talked to him
I begged
at
him
a
to
high
cut my
school
foot off.
reunion, and he demanded. Plus, there were reasons because it wasn't a great foot anyway. But the pain was there, and he said, "My fucking foot's not there, and I still have the pain."
That's because it's in his back where the injury is. I know because
But
they
he
got this
perceived
shut
it
off,
to be in his foot.
I
even though
begged
his
him to
foot
cut my foot off. I said, I would way rather have a plastic foot than I can't live. This is pain that you scream and have tears coming down your cheek. You can't. I mean, it's.
No, I believe you. I mean, yeah.
But it's on or off, and I'm really lucky that I have some.
Have you known anyone with more than that takes more than that?
I guess it depends on what. I mean, if you're looking in.
Death comes in right around 180.
It depends on. I mean, it really depends on a person's tolerance because I mean, well, I'll say someone new shooting.
But you can still have tolerance, but your heart, it's different. Tolerance is more of a. Isn't it more of a respiratory thing?
I mean, what's going to kill you is going to be the respiratory depression.
Or the
But
heart.
you'd be surprised at how much of a tolerance someone can build up, and what would kill any average person, like other people, would be fine.
Prince basically just OD. His heart stopped. But I thought that he was, he had built up a tolerance. But his heart didn't know it, you know what I mean?
I have to be really careful. If the kid or a dog gets hold of one of these, if I drop one on the rug and the dog eats it, it'll kill him.
Yeah.
If I took one of those right now, or a normal person, what would happen?
You'd be vomiting and feel just,
Really?
I mean, you'd be, potentially, you'd probably get really sick. You probably wouldn't actually overdose.
If you chewed it up, it'd kill you. If you chewed it up and released about that much all at once. That's what's so dangerous about these things. The kids get hold of these.
When my doctor gave them to me, they were in 5s.
Yeah.
And if I took 4 of those a day, that was when I had the back thing. And I had a bad back, and I'm thinking, oh, I like this. There were 4 5s. That's 20. 4 5s, there were 20.
You're doing 160.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, how many 5s would that be? 160.
A million.
Well, and with Prince, he was also taking benzos, and that's the number one cause of overdose, is when people take like Valium or Xanax or other benzos with opiates.
Okay, so that would be taking 32 of those. I can't even fathom taking 32 of them. I can't.
You're taking more than 1 an hour.
Oh, I'm not. Listen, I feel bad.
I'm feeling down, and I do.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by K&H Home Solutions. You know what I love about this show? Our commercials and our sponsors are part of the content. They're not separate. We talk about all of this stuff. Hey, Doug wants to talk about a car and a transmission acting up. Kelsey wants to talk about a transfer of a car lease to her sister. That's good. I can tell her how to do that. Stacy wants to talk about a lien on her home from this storm repair. We're going to talk about that. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, there is something going on called the Olympics. Have you heard? Well, K&H is celebrating with Go for the Gold windows and siding sale in honor of the Winter Olympics. Okay, let K&H measure your home for James Hardy siding, and then you'll get a spectacular price. You know what you'll get off your whole project? $6,200. That's $6,200 in honor of the 62 years K&H has been in business. And with the windows, you buy 3, get 1 free. Now, for the siding, it's a minimum purchase of 1,000 square feet, and you get $6,200 off. And if you buy 3 and get 1 window free, that's a minimum of 6. But you know what? K&H will stand behind their products. It will add value, durability, beauty. Here's what you need to do. Give them a call. It's that easy. 303-421-7100. Or make your own appointment. khwindows.com. That's khwindows.com. Let's talk to Stacy. We left off with her. We also have Raleigh House in the house talking about addiction treatment, and all of the things surrounding. I do have some emails I'll get to on that. It's a very complicated topic. Stacy, okay, bottom line, an adjuster comes out. Usually an adjuster comes out from the insurance company, and they give an estimate, okay? What was the estimate the insurance gave you?
Just for, let's see.
How much did they give you?
Replacement cost $8,763.26.
Okay, now usually this is what happens, and I tell everyone to do this. You call a roofer first to see if you have damage. Then you have a reputable roofer from my referral list at referralist.com or Excel Roofing. I know Jay personally. And you have them give you an estimate. And you make them tell you what that estimate is, the materials, the scope of work, and how much it's going to be. Why do I say that? Because you want to know what you need. If a roofer says, I'll do whatever the insurance says, then don't use them, because you don't want a roofer like that. You want a roofer who's going to fight for you and tell you what you need. Once you get that price, then you have the adjuster come out. When the adjuster comes out, if there's a difference, that's when you fight about it. So I don't know how this got asked backwards. You had the guy give you an $8,000 bid, and that guy from ACP who now wants more money, he should have been able to know that was too little. Why did he start the job? You know, how did it work? You had this amount, this $8,763. You had that amount. The guy saw it, but he took the job on and now says it's going to take more money?
Well, he was like a middleman. He was supposed to work and get my contractors out here. I already had a roofing company lined up for the roofing, and when it was going to deal with the painters and all that myself, being a single mom, it was a struggle just
Wait a
to
minute.
get the roofers.
So ACP storm repair was taking care of more than the roof?
Right. He was going to get all the contractors I needed.
Did he?
No. He dragged his feet telling me that he was waiting on
What still needs to be repaired on
insurance
your home?
The paint on the two sides of the house that
What else?
farmers
Just
agreed
keep going.
to
What else? Paint?
The screen and the back awning.
Okay, and he never had that fixed?
No.
Okay, but the roof is done?
Yes.
And he didn't do the roof. He just subcontracted it?
Yes.
Okay, you didn't even need this guy. I don't even know why you have this ACP storm guy. Why do you even have him?
Again, because I was a single mom and I was struggling just to try and find the right kind of roof.
Stacy, if anything happens again like that, give us a call, okay? We'll help you free of charge, please. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. Now, let's talk. Who was the roofer, the actual roofer?
I have no idea.
Okay. Did the roofer get paid?
Yes.
How do you
know?
know?
I don't know if they got paid. I paid them the first check that I got from Farmers Insurance.
Who's them?
ACP Storm Repair.
So you don't know if the roofer got paid?
No.
Okay. Now, ACP, what was the first check you got?
The first one was for $3,890.
Okay. And what about the balance? Where's the balance?
That was it. That was it. Yeah.
Where's no? You said 8763, and you said you got a check for 3890. There's money left over. Where's that money?
Oh, they sent me a second check.
Where's the second check?
I've already deposited it, and then I told Alan after I talked to a friend of mine. I was pretty stressed out about it because Alan.
You don't have to give me a story. Where's the second check? It's in your bank account?
Yes, sir.
Good. Smart. Okay? So now you have control of that money. You didn't give it to him yet, right?
Yes.
Good. And he wants that money and more.
Right.
$36,000.
Right, $36,000.
Right now, $4,873 is in your account, plus you have a deductible of how much you have to pay.
$1,500.
Right. Okay, so technically, you have $6,300 to go, and this guy wants how much?
He wanted $36,000.
In addition to the 38?
Yes.
What the hell? How? How does he want?
I don't know. That's where we're confused. That's why we're calling.
All right. Okay. Good. Now, do you have a contract with ACP Storm Repair?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you get it to us?
I can. I can email it.
All right. I want you to deal with Deputy Clint. I want to take this on. Here's what we have to find out. What did the initial contract say as far as price from ACP?
I believe it was the $36,000.
Why did you agree to it?
I didn't know. He was telling me that this is what needs to be done on your house.
And you agreed to it. You agreed to it. So did you assume that he would get that money from your insurance?
Yeah, that's
who's the guy? Who's the guy talking for you, Stacy?
Who's the guy talking?
Behind you that I hear. Who is it?
Oh, that's my Aunt Donna.
Your aunt. I'm sorry, it's a woman? Okay. And does she know more about this? Should I be talking to her?
No, she's just,
she's just helping. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Like, we need to call Tom.
This guy sounds like a complete ripoff. What's his name? Alan what?
I don't remember his last name. Do you?
Stacy. Stacy, how did you find Alan who you don't even know his last name?
Coworker.
God. Okay, we need to start from the beginning. Get me the contract, okay? It could be you don't even have a legal contract. Now, don't worry about a lien if he puts it on your home. He can't do it. Do you have a lot of equity?
No.
Okay. A lien is, people worry too much about liens. Don't worry about it. It's not going to take your home. What we have to do now is get this guy off your back, but we also have to know what kind of repairs you need at your house. Have you had anyone look at it to see what repairs you need?
Other than the insurance company, no.
Okay. So,
and Alan.
All right. Here's what we'll do. We'll examine the contract from Alan. We'll have someone look at your home to see what needs to be done. And then it's been over a year?
Yes.
Then we have to kiss your insurance proceeds goodbye. But we can get Alan off your back and make sure that $6,300 goes properly to the proper place. Now, you may still owe money to that roofer. I don't know. You may, not to Alan, but to the roofer. But ACP Storm Repair, we're on to you, bro. You sound like you're a big scammer, and we're going to take care of Stacy. So hold on. Get her information for Deputy Clint. God, I hate when stuff like that happens. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Kelsey, your turn, Kelsey. Welcome.
Hi.
What's
thanks.
happening, Kelsey? Hi.
I have a lease of a 2017 Subaru Forester, and I started the lease on May 31st of 2017.
Okay.
And it's a
hold
3-year
on.
lease.
Okay, hold on. Let me just put that down. Fine. So, okay, you started it just a little while ago, right? Oh,
Yeah,
no,
not
last
long
year,
ago.
May, okay.
Yeah.
So what
last
about it?
May. And I'm moving out of the country, and so I don't want to break my lease because that's a lot of money. My
How long is the lease, dear?
3 years.
A 3-year
so
lease.
I have another 2.5 years about.
And your sister wants to take it over?
Yeah, she said she's really happy to take the lease over. She needs a car. The payments are really low.
Okay, you can do that. You can do that. But
yeah.
technically, the way you do it, you got to do it legally, you got to do it ethically, you got to do it right. Because a lot of people do it wrong, and you'll see these signs: low down payment, no down payment, low payments. Hold on, Kelsey. I'll come right back to you and tell you exactly how to do it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Speaking of cars, Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal for used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. Here's a little side note. Don't ever lease a used car, ever. If you're going to lease, make it a new car. And when you want to lease a new car, you got to find the one with the highest residual values that depreciate the least. When it comes to Rocky's, they have great used cars, and of course you can finance them, but don't lease them. There's a whole reason for it. Now, Rocky's is at 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, with a huge selection of makes, models, colors, price ranges, and a huge selection of lenders. Yes, there are different lenders for different people. As they say, different strokes for different folks, so you find one that's right for you. A lot of down payment, a little down payment, interest rates, you shop. Shop around for a car, put Rocky's on the list, and you'll see why I say they have great deals, great value, and they'll be your great friend at 63rd and Federal, 303-426-4646.
We need to get somebody out there to look over it. Public adjuster now. Okay.
We gotta get that contract first just to see if it's.
Let's get the contract first. We'll get somebody to look at it. But here's the problem. She doesn't have any insurance left. She lost her rights.
I can't believe it said 36,000 on the contract.
Maybe she didn't sign it.
But she only was going to get back like 9,000.
Yeah. You know, I've got this thing where I got this. Look at this lease, and it's like in microprint.
Lease for
apartment. Remember that girl that they threw all her stuff out of the garage? These idiots are trying to stick her to this lease that's unsigned. Not one page of it.
But not just that, they screwed her too.
Oh, they've just.
Oh, but they're the one that took all of her stuff, right?
Yeah, took all her stuff. They never had the right apartment. It's
Here's
thank you.
And Al, that's Stacy, and that is his direct line. Brett is going to be at noon.
Do we have Stacy's number? Stacy's.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I do have that.
Okay.
And he wants to talk about VA.
Yeah, you know why? Lenders make the most money on VA. How come?
The VA probably pays.
They pay some of the
points. Plus they.
And they're the cheapest loans for people, which
they can do 100%. No, what do you call it? Mortgage insurance?
I tried to go in the Air Force.
Were you rejected for mental reasons?
No, not quite. But you had to have 20/20 vision.
You still do.
20,
To fly.
Still do.
To fly.
To fly in the Air Force,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Not even corrected. 20.
But you could have went enlisted in the Air Force.
Yeah, but
You know, I have the implanted lenses, not LASIK, but new lenses. They focus, and I'm better than 20/20. My pilot's license says I need corrective lenses, you know, because one time when I took a test, I needed them, right? But and so I asked the flight guy, flight surgeon. He said, "Well, now that I'm better than 2020," he said, "There's no provision. There's no provision for removing that."
That's crazy.
But had I just been getting a license now, fresh, but so technically I need to have corrective lenses with me.
Aren't they in your eye? Can't you say, there they are?
Well, they're not even corrective. They're new lenses.
But you corrected in 2020.
So what's amazing is that procedure isn't approved. But if you have the procedure, no one would ever know. Because they're lenses. They're artificial.
So if you have LASIK, is that not approved either?
No, wait. It might be by now. But LASIK is weird, because LASIK you have to pick either close or far.
No.
Yeah, you do.
Not mine.
Well, you kind of do. You had a situation where they fixed your eye, right? Was one eye in the far and one eye? Well, can you see both near and far? Yeah. Okay. Your eyes were such that they were fucked up in a way that when you had LASIK, it's hard to explain, but normal people with normal eyes, when they start getting old eyes,
lens hardens,
and you can't focus up close. They make one eye close and keep one eye far. It's called mono. But I have friends like you who needed glasses before, right?
Yeah.
Before LASIK, right?
Correct.
Okay. What's weird about that is when you need glasses, your eyes are screwed up enough that they can fix them to where you're wearing your glasses, so to speak, so you can see both, right? Mm-hmm. But it's going to deteriorate.
And I have seen it deteriorate. I've had it.
It will. So
20 years ago.
So you will. You'll always need your eyes. Yeah. Your eyes will never see close as you get older unless you have LASIK for one. But when it comes time, Dan, don't get LASIK again.
I'll get your
get the lenses, and they'll be brand new.
No, I totally agree.
And here's the other thing. Even though I didn't realize this, because I was 63 when I this hour and this segment, Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center, I can't say enough about what they did for me. They have smart hearing aids now that integrate with smartphones. You can actually talk on them. You can use them as your earpiece, so you don't have to have a special Bluetooth thing. Here's the other thing. You don't have any control. That controls it. So if you're in a noisy setting, you can set your hearing aids. And they also have hearing aids that, of course, help with tinnitus. You know that girl that was having a hissy fit? She was 17, beating her mom and dad. There was a kid one time that was seriously violent, and they didn't know what was wrong with him. And they found out that he had something called misophonia. Misophonia. Do you know what that means? Hatred of sound. There was a certain sound that set him off like a wild man. And no one knows why, but it happens. And it's like a crazy effect. Bim! And then he goes nuts. So, misophonia. They can fix that. They even deal with misophonia. It's such a rare condition, but I bring that up because it's so weird. They actually now have hearing devices to filter those sounds out. Anyway, for tinnitus and hearing loss, Colorado Tinnitus Hearing Center, 303-534-0163, 534-0163, helpforringing.com. You can get free test drives and trial periods. 303-534-0163. Okay, so Kelsey wants to transfer a lease. We have lines open at 303-713-TALK. I want to remind you that we'll get you right in, 303-713-8255. And we also have our new 30-second hit and get where you can just say anything you want. If you want to rave or rant, online reviews,
on-air reviews you can do. So, Kelsey, your lease has 2 years, oh, actually, a lot time, well, about 2 years and a few months left, right? Okay.
Correct.
Now, this is what I want to tell people about leases. If anyone ever lets you assume a lease, don't ever do it unless it's done properly. These people that have these cars out on parking lots with a big sign on them or on the side of the road and it says assume lease or no down payment, what they do is they take that car from somebody who wants to get out of it. They charge people to get them out of their car. Then they take the car and they have people who aren't qualified take over the lease, and they collect the payments and are supposed to make the payments, and they make a spread in between. Well, I found guys that take the payment and don't make the payment. And they pile up a bunch of money, and then if somebody complains to them because they get a late notice, they make that payment. And they play that game like a house of cards until it all fails and they run away. I had a guy one time that amassed about $2 million doing this and took off. We tracked him down and found him. It's a true story. It might have been more than $2 million. It was called carriage leasing. Terrible, because the people who have the car lease that let someone assume it are still on the hook, and the guy who took over the lease gets nothing in return because the car is ultimately taken away. So we want to do it the right way. That's the moral of that story. Here's how you do it the right way. You have to have the leasing company qualify your sister. It's that simple. And then it's simply a paperwork and a transfer.
Now, my the leasing agency said they don't do any transfers. They don't transfer at all.
Who is it?
So I think it's through Chase.
Really? You mean Chase? Chase Bank does not allow assumption of leases.
Right, because I called and I said, hey, my sister's wanting to take over my lease. I'd like to transfer it to her name and just move everything over because she's happy to, make the payments. And they said no.
Well,
and
that's,
so,
I don't know of any that don't do it. I find that shocking. Do they realize you wanted to get her qualified and do it legally?
I mean, I would assume that since I was calling, they would understand that I'm trying to do this on the right road.
Because what would prevent you? I mean, I would never recommend this, but if it's your sister, what would just prevent her from just taking the car and making the payments?
Well, that's what my question is. I know parents do that all the time, where they get a car for their kids and then they pay the payment.
It's technically against your lease. It's technically against your lease, meaning that in the lease it says you have to have possession of the car. But if the payments are being made, no harm is done. And then you have to make sure she gets it insured because she has to have an insurable interest.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with it if you trust your sister. Now,
I do.
Again, this is a recipe for disaster if people do this.
Yeah.
But if you truly know your sister, the way you can protect yourself and the way anyone can protect themselves, and with carriage leasing they would have been able to protect themselves, if when you do this, you don't change the mailing address, that you are still the one notified in the event of late payments or no payments or anything like that. And then you can simply let your sister drive your car. I mean, she is basically...
Well, that was my question, is can she just be a driver and I'm essentially doing
you got to make sure.
I have possession and she's borrowing it.
Yes,
at the end of the day, I could say that.
Yes, you can. You can.
My question then is...
You can't take money for it, Kelsey. In other words, you can't buy... She can't pay you a down payment because that would be considered an illegal conversion. However, she can make your payments, yes.
Right. So this is where I got stuck, is that I'm in the state of Colorado.
Yes.
And she's in the state of Utah.
Yeah.
And I was wondering about the registration. Do I just continue it?
No.
Because it's,
No. Where are you going?
I'm going to Japan.
Okay. Then you can... you need to register it where it is. That's for damn sure. You got to do that.
Okay.
Now,
so
some
how
leases,
do I do that if
some leases require that you stay in the state, but this I doubt that Chase does. And I know you can't take them out of the country. So here's what you do. You simply change since you're going to Japan anyway, you're going to need a mailing address, right?
Right.
Okay, why don't you just change your legal address to where your sister is? Would there be a problem with that?
No, I think I think I could do that.
I mean, is there, what are you going to do with your place here?
I'm leaving at the end of the lease.
What are you going to do for a mailing address?
I was going to get a P.O. box here.
No, do it there. Do it there. You got to have, you make your address Utah and literally move to Utah.
Okay.
And then register the car. You register the car. She can't register it. You do. And then she can simply make the payments and use the car. Again, this is against the lease technically because you are not in possession. But you can make the argument you left the country and your sister is borrowing it and making the payments. They're not going to do anything unless it's not paid. If that car is not paid or not insured, they'll come after you.
Right. Okay, so the only next step is I have to go to Utah. I guess it's just a time.
It is, but you have to do it. You have to do it. Yeah. And here's the other thing: you are going to be responsible for any damages to that lease. You know, over mileage, wear and tear.
Oh, for sure, I understand all that.
Okay, well, you can do that. I'm surprised they did not have a mechanism for legal transfer. And I may be so bold as if I were you to. You know, we ought to put in a call. We're going to put in a call, just a curiosity call. So hold on, all right? You give that information about leasing to Daphne, and we'll have Clint make a quick call during the show. Okay? So let's do that. 303-713-8255. And a question for the Raleigh house. What is the best way to get someone to go into treatment? Now, that's a loaded question. I don't know. I mean, there's probably a million ways. What do they mean, the best way?
Well, I think, you said it pretty well. There isn't one size that fits all, and that's where I think, if you start with a professional and have a conversation, and we can really find a plan that's going to work for you, your loved one, and the situation, because each one is individual.
Well, we did that line, that information line. Do you ever have people call that line with the addict in their life with them?
Absolutely.
So they call on speakerphone or something, or conference, and they talk along with their addict.
They do. And depending on what the situation is and what the kind of current state of that person being, if they are inebriated or under the influence, we may make recommendations. Sometimes we ask them to come down to our facility and have a conversation. We may also have one of our team that's an interventionist get involved. And really, it's about not shaming the person and also trying to achieve the best outcome for the family and the loved one that's struggling, and really helping them to get back on their feet and helping the whole family system go through some healing.
Okay, so there is no one way. You will talk to them on the phone, obviously. How many of this community line we've set up, what percentage of addicts actually call compared to family members and loved ones?
I'd say it's about 70 to 30 family members calling as opposed to the actual.
So you will get about 30% of the time you'll get the addict calling?
Yeah, you actually get quite a few people calling for themselves.
Excellent. And that number is 720-893-5559. That's really good to know. I didn't realize it would even be that high. Art of Granite. Art of Granite. Did you know that Art of Granite can get you kitchen countertops and cabinets at a fraction of the cost of anywhere else, and also give you custom fabrication that second to none? I love the way they do business. A premier designer and a direct importer of granite and quartz and other natural stone. Yes, they have quartz, they have marble, any solid surface. The prices are quoted over the phone. Then you visit the showroom in Golden. Wholesale countertop material always, custom edges, sinks, and cabinets. So it's best to go to the showroom. And they cover the entire metro area, the mountain community, 7 days a week. The quickest jobs are when you go to the showroom with some measurements and a photo. They'll give you a price that won't change, and an appointment will be made for templating, and installation will be 1 week later. That's the way it works. Give them a call, 303-386-5919, artofgranite.net.
Hi, it's Bud.
You are. You're knocking these babies out.
I may have to boogie a little early. It sounds like my staff has a personal emergency. His kid may have broken his wrist.
Okay, when do you think? So I can make sure I get these emails in.
I'd say I'll know in the next 10 minutes, but I'd say probably around noon or just a little bit after.
Okay.
So like in Clint's story, he has so much he's taken. What happens if he gets stopped, has an accident and gets stopped, and they test him, they said, hey, you got... he's a fucking pilot.
Yeah, he'd get a DUI. Whether you're prescribed or not, if they deemed that he was under the influence, I mean, really, I mean, with how long he's been taking it, you'd probably never know, but if there was an accident or something happened and they did a blood test or for whatever reason, he took some extra, hadn't eaten, there's a number of variables in it, but if they deemed he would get a DUI, yeah. Yeah, and they really don't mess around with, I mean, not to say that he's abusing or overusing.
No, I totally agree, and you're right, it's all medication.
But they don't mess around with it. If it shows up in a blood level that you're too high, it
scares the shit out of me.
That's just a lot. Yeah. Wow, when you consider 5 milligrams and stuff, and he's taking 32 times.
I mean, your average person, if they were to take a 5 milligram Vicodin, I mean, they'd probably...
Not Vicodin.
Well, so Vicodin... So it's taking... No, he's taking Oxycontin. Well, that's a brand name. So it's oxycodone is what's in the medications. It's just... So Vicodin is a brand name. It's oxycodone with Tylenol along with it. Percocet, another brand name, is a little bit higher. Usually 10 milligrams with the Tylenol. And then you get into the straight oxycodone, which is going to be Roxicet, Oxycontin, just oxycodones. There's a number of brand names, and then there's the generics. The strongest ones are going to be Oxycontin and then Dilaudid, which is probably just about the strongest that is prescribed.
Stronger than...
My work. That was why I used to work in the film industry.
Doing what?
I started as a PA, but I did props and special effects in the union for about the majority of it. In New Mexico? Yeah, my dad's a production designer, and he got me
work. Would you get commercials?
Mostly features.
Really? What they shoot in New Mexico?
For a long time, actually, more crew was moving from LA to New Mexico because our tax incentive program was phenomenal.
And they have good settings, too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
a lot of generic type settings. They look for that.
You can shoot from East Coast to West Coast outside of beaches, of course, but I mean, they roll in big palm trees. We build giant greenhouses to do that kind of stuff. But
what kind of stuff? Give me an idea of some of your work done.
The first 2 Transformers,
the
third Terminator, Book of Eli, the first 2 seasons of Breaking Bad.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Did you meet some of the people, the stars?
Yeah, that was, and I mean, it was great when I did it.
And everybody's into drugs on those things.
Absolutely, and once I got clean and I realized, I mean, it's like 80 hours a week. The money's great, but you live in a hotel room in middle of nowhere, Alamogordo, for more nights out of the year than you do in your own bed. And
so I went, when I had my laser, whenever I have anything done, they want to prescribe pain meds.
Yeah.
I had my implant, and I said, okay, it's for an emergency. You know, but I didn't fill it. You know, I just had it just in case, because I thought they kept telling me. They would say, "Now, Tom, are you sure you don't want?" I said, "Okay." You know, they almost pushed on me, so I said, "Okay." And I take the script, but I wouldn't fill it. And like when I had my implant, so I took Tylenol, and it didn't work. So I'm wondering how many people truly just automatically take a painkiller because it's prescribed. I took acetaminophen and it worked. I mixed it sometimes with ibuprofen, and I wouldn't take it. The reason I don't is personal. It's because I actually like that feeling and it scares me.
Sure.
So, but here's the deal. I have to prescribe.
It's definitely overprescribed.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. We talked about a company the other day that blew everyone's mind, Carpet Doctor. Now, here's what you have to understand. I just realized this. There are several people called the Carpet Doctor. and I am afraid you're going to get the wrong one. So please, you got to get the right one. It's Carpet Doctor Inc., okay? And it's on our referral list. If it's not that one, you're not going to get this deal. And the deal is his everyday low price. It's almost hard to believe. In fact, it's almost stupid to believe. But he'll do any house, no extra charge, no upselling, no hocus pocus, any house, big, medium, or small, for $139. It's impossible to believe. But here's the issue. Please, please, please make sure you get the right guy. I had somebody call me and said, hey, man, I called the Carpet Doctor, and he said, yeah, I'll come out for that, but it's going to be way extra when he got there. That's not our guy, okay? It's not our guy. So please, you got to make sure it's Carpet Doctor Inc., Carpet Doctor Inc., and it's only this phone number, 720-298-0352. 720-298-0352. That's $139, okay? Carpet Doctor Inc. I know it sounds crazy, but no matter how big your house is, no matter how small, you're still going to pay it. $139, and he does a great job. Don's turn. He has a question for Julian with the Raleigh House. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, I have a son that's hooked on meth.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
I would like to know how Raleigh House works. He doesn't have a job. He has Medicaid. And I don't know if...
Is he home with you?
No. He's 40 years old.
How does he support his habit?
I'm not quite sure right now.
And how do you know he has an addiction? Does he admit it?
He admitted it. He said he's admitted he needs to do something.
Is it affecting his life? I mean, obviously it is, but I mean, does he have a family?
Yes, he has a daughter and a wife.
And is he divorced?
No, they're married.
I mean, do they know about the addiction?
The wife does. The daughter's 4.
Oh my God! And is his physical health down the drain, or are his teeth rotting?
It's just put it this way: it's not doing him any good. He's getting kind of schizo.
Do you know how long he's been that way?
Well, you know what? He was sober for 14 years, and then all of a sudden he met a guy. He's driving for Uber, and they started partying. And he says it's only been a few months he's back doing it, but I'm tell you what, I think it's a lot longer than that.
It often is. And so he's 40. He's been using the meth. Was that the original substance that he struggled with?
Yes.
Okay. And so he has Medicaid. And what does the other kind of family support system look like for him right now?
He has his wife, and she works for serving food. And I'm on disability, so I can't really help him. I'm doing all I can.
So what I think the best plan of action would be, really for me to give you any recommendation, I think we would need to do a real good screening around him and what's going on with him so I can make an appropriate recommendation. And whether it ends up being with us at the Raleigh House, our main goal is always helping a client get to some source of help and really, do the right thing to get them back on track. So,
like Salvation Army, don't they have a no-cost?
There are some programs that have no-cost options. There are also some scholarship options for some programs. And that's
do you guys have scholarship programs?
We do, and that's where everything is done on a case-by-case basis.
And what about Medicaid, no?
So Medicaid is one of the more difficult pieces to work with as it is run through the state. They only work with several licensed contracted facilities, and because of that, the demand for those services are so high, so there's often a waiting list. But I never want that to be discouraging for a family, so I always encourage people to still give us a call, because that's not to say that we can't still find a good fit that is something done through a different avenue than Medicaid. There are still options to get help.
Do you have any Medicaid patients?
Not at our facility because we're not one of those state licensed facilities.
What makes them approved?
It's a contracting process that you have to go through with the actual Medicaid programs, and there's a lot of different qualifiers that you have to meet to accept that insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what my biggest question was. Because every place we've called, it's like $10,000-$15,000.
Oh, it's a lot of money. It can be more than that. I mean, it's unbelievable how much it can be. But good places always seem to find a way to get people in. They really do.
And that's where, like I said, if it's not with us, we'll still do our best to find some resources for him and get him pointed in the right direction. We don't want you to hit a dead end with
now,
this.
why don't you leave your number with Daff? Daff, will you give that to Julian, please? The number. What's your son's first name?
Zeb.
Zeb. Okay, so hang on, Don, and we'll get there. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Sorry about Doug's problem, a car transmission acting up. Is this a used car you bought, Doug?
No, I bought it brand new at 2017, about
Really?
8 months ago.
Whoa, where'd you buy it?
I bought it at Empire Nissan in Lakewood.
Yeah, Empire Nissan. We don't hear much from them, so it's not obviously their fault. So it's a brand new car. My obvious question, isn't warranty taking care of it?
Yes, warranties. I purchased a 125,000-mile warranty. I brought it in the day and said, look, I'm having a little transmission. It happened 6 or 7 times. I've already put 45,000 miles on it. Hold
on. You said the magic word 6 or 7 times. Hold on. The same problem?
Well, when I'm in the mountains, sometimes it downshifts to 4th as you're climbing up the hill. Then I go over the hill, and it stays in 4th. So when I'm going 75, it's at 5,000 RPMs. It won't flip back down to...
What kind of car is it? Nissan what?
Nissan Frontier 4-wheel drive pickup, 4-door.
Frontier. Okay, so what are they proposing?
Well, here's what they did. They came in, they opened up the transmission and says, well, it has the wrong transmission fluid in it. I said, well, change it out. They said, no, I have to pay for the transmission flush, $270.
Wait a minute. Exactly. Why would you have to do that? Who put the wrong tranny fluid in?
The manufacturer.
And they're going to charge you? No way. And they're going to charge you to flush it and change it?
Yep.
I call that a manufacturer's defect. They're going to say we don't do the fluids and all that. Yes, under normal circumstances, but they're the ones that put the wrong one in.
Tom.
Or are they denying that?
I did them a favor. I told them you need to call the factory and check the VIN numbers before me and after me. I'm an engineer. I've worked on a production line. If one of them has the wrong, there's a good chance there's 2 dozen or 200 or 1,000 of them. I'm probably not...
By the way, did they do it?
No, they didn't. They did not do it.
Why don't you try another Nissan dealer? Seriously.
Well, I did, because this is the Nissan dealer I bought it from.
No, it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere you want with a warranty.
Well...
I would do that first. That's the first thing.
Here's what they're saying. They're saying it's preventative maintenance. That's preventative maintenance.
Doug,
it is, but that's at 60,000 miles.
Doug, listen. If it was the wrong fluid from the factory, they need to change it out at their cost. If what you're telling me is true, it makes no sense. Now, if it was not the wrong fluid, but they say, well, we've updated our fluid or have a better fluid, that's a whole different story.
That's not what they're saying. And I'm not sure, here's the deal. That's their opinion of the fluid, and it may be. But, has the damage? I got 47,000 miles on it. Has it been damaged because I have the wrong fluid? It just baffles me that first, and it's not a $270 cost for them. I've looked at the fluid; it's $50, $40 worth of fluid.
You know what, Neaston? Now they sound like a bunch of bums. I would never go there after buying. How much did that car cost you?
$34,000.
Yeah, and they're treating you like this.
Yes, and I haven't had it a year.
That sucks. I really mean that. I don't even know how they did that with a straight face. You want to take a crack at this right now? Let's do it. What about all the other calls you're making? You give us a follow-up. Okay, hold on. Let's just give them a call right now, Doug. That is wrong, no matter how you look at it. I can't even believe they're getting away with it or trying to get away with it. Heads up, this is very important. Assisted living is nothing like it used to be. Golden Orchard Assisted Living is a home that you will, there are 3 of them in the metro area, 2 in Centennial, 1 in Wheat Ridge. We're talking patios, large landscaped yards, spacious bathrooms, and they specialize in Alzheimer's, dementia, and memory care, but it's open to anyone. Love, understanding, respect in all stages of the aging process. They are low occupancy assisted living homes catering to the health and well-being of residents. We know the owners, Farrell and her husband, they are such wonderful people. They were looking for a place years ago for their loved ones, couldn't find one, so they started their own, and they were building these facilities, so they built their own. 24-hour in-home staffing, certified in medication management, exceptional long-term care with comfort and dignity, surrounded, by the way, by their own furniture and belongings, and even managed pets are allowed on a case-by-case basis, or community pets. Daily activities for both the groups and individual. They have family-style, healthy, nutritious meals, and snacks are served throughout the day. 303-795-0784. They have vacancies now, which are rare. 303-795-0784. If you have a need and have a loved one, Golden Orchard Assisted Living is wonderful.
All the stuff in these new cars is controlled with a computer.
But you got to talk.
I don't even think it's a fluid problem.
It's a transmission, though.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I
but
know.
For them to say he's got to pay for it is bullshit. You heard the whole premise.
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Go there and just rattle the shit out of him. That's what
He needs to get to
And if they say, well, it's preventive, say, yeah, but if the wrong, let's just confirm that the wrong fluid has been put in.
Well,
I don't know. Tennessee, conditions along the corridor up in the high country. Eastbound has long reopened, though, west of the Eisenhower Tunnel. The weather forecast is going to be mostly cloudy today, chilly with a high of 39. Right now, mostly cloudy and 32. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30 KHOW. This report is brought to you by Pringles.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-681-0573.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-681-0573. That's 1-800-681-0573.
When you stack up different flavors of Pringles, you create amazing new flavors. Stack up cheddar cheese, jalapeno, and French onion dip Pringles, and you've got yourself the 3-layer dip stack, which makes you a genius. Stack different flavors, create endless new ones with Pringles.
When it comes to learning the facts about Colorado state tax, there is only one website that has all your answers. Colorado.gov/tax. It's a free resource to understanding Colorado tax. No need to call when the answers are just a click away 24/7. From filing and paying your Colorado taxes to business sales tax questions and more. Visit Colorado.gov/tax. Sponsored by the Colorado Department of Revenue, the Colorado Broadcasters Association, and this station.
I grew up in a military family, and that's why it's important to me to remind veterans that it's time to take advantage of the VA benefits that you deserve. This is Ross Kaminsky, and I thank you, and American Financing thanks you for your service, and want to see that you receive the greatest savings when it comes to owning a home on the land you once defended. When using your VA benefits, there's no down payment and no mortgage interest required, and you'll receive some of the lowest rates in the industry. If you're already in a mortgage, it's no problem. You can refinance any existing mortgage into a VA loan while receiving access to 100% of your home's value. That's greater than any other loan program can offer, and even though it's called a VA loan, it's available to active duty military and spouses as well, so you don't have to wait to take advantage of such incredible savings. A salary-based mortgage consultant will listen to your financial goals and customize a loan program that fits your needs. Just call 303-695-7000.
But technically, people feel we help everyone because we're answering questions every day.
Sure.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in taxes? The government now has tax debt relief programs in place, and you have rights. Call tax representation today. Join satisfied clients like Victoria.
I owe the IRS $32,000. We accepted $300.
She saved $31,700. Leroy owed $21,000.
The IRS accepted $500, and I saved $20,500.
Results may vary, but tax representation can help you. As the IRS threaten to freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, and garnish your wage, you don't have to fear the IRS any longer if you call tax representation. We are the industry experts with negotiating with the IRS, and one of the very few that has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. will contact the IRS the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call the tax representation hotline at 800-295-1046. Call 800-295-1046 today. That's 800-295-1046. Sean Hannity.
The media's job will point out their bias, and we'll give you information you're not going to get anywhere else. Because that's what we do on this program.
Sean Hannity, coming up today at 1 on Denver's Talk Station, 630 KFI.
Tom Martino here. The Raleigh House in the house if you have any questions. Lewis, what's going on with you, Lewis? Welcome. Lewis? Okay, I'm going to put Lewis on hold. Daff, would you make sure he's still there? Let's go to John. Hello, John. Welcome. What's happening, John?
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Good, man. What's happening?
We got a default judgment against the contractor.
Okay, now, I assume he just did not show up.
That's correct.
You know, that's weird, because when somebody doesn't show up, it's almost like a candy store. Did you have to, out of curiosity, and for those listening, you went to small claims court, I assume?
We did.
And when the guy didn't show up, does the judge take a look at your claim anyway to make sure you're not exaggerating?
Yeah, absolutely. I put, exhibits together and,
good,
a whole rundown of
and
what
did you ask for in damages?
The max, $7,500.
And did the judge go along with it?
We got it.
Okay. Now, that's just as good as any judgment in the world. Did you know that? Except in the first few months, if you try to collect too soon, the guy may claim, in the first few months, judges they're more lenient. They may say, he might say, hey, I didn't even know, I didn't have a chance, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then what he does is he'll let him maybe come back. So how long has it been?
Well, it hasn't been that long. I would say maybe a month or so.
Okay. Well,
this has been kind of a long, ongoing thing.
I'd wait 60 days. I'd wait 60 days. But there's no magic number.
What?
There's no magic number. Although after 6 months, it's almost impossible to refute. That's why I don't like a lot of these gutter judgments, where these guys go out, these crooks go out, and they don't really serve people, and they claim they did, and then when they don't show up in court, they get a judgment. They sit on the judgment for a year and then try to collect. And then when the person tries to fight it, after a year, it's almost impossible to get it removed. Yet, how did they even know about it? I always say to judges, I say, hey, if he didn't know about the judgment, how was he supposed to refute it in the first 6 months? It's really ridiculous. But you got the judgment. What do you do now? The best thing to do is to give it to a collection attorney who will add their fees in with it.
Okay, because somebody else had suggested get the judgment and then try to find the banks, or if you know where they live, try to find the banks around them.
Sure.
And you can get a writ of garnishment. Is that what it's called?
Of course you can. Here's what you do. First, you can do what's called an interrogatory, a list of questions of where is your bank, where are your accounts, what are your account numbers, and by the way, they're supposed to answer under the threat of contempt. They really are. But you'd be surprised how many don't. And I have a collection attorney that gets people thrown in jail for that, and you can. So if you do that right, and you put at the top, I will pursue, an arrest for contempt if you do not answer, and then you start asking these questions, where does he work? Does he do any side work? Whatever. And then where are your banks? Yes, you can do that. And then when you do that, then you can go out and put up the writ of garnishment. So you're allowed to do an interrogatory, then you're allowed to do writs of garnishment. There's also something called a writ of execution, where you actually take stuff of his and sell it. You take it, and it's unbelievable what you can do. Hold on if you have any more questions. We have to run. So don't forget, 303-713-TALK for us, 303-MARTINO. We have a couple lines open, and referrallist.com. Budget A1 trans.
Okay, brother. Cool.
Heading out.
Yep. I think her son found the last patch of ice in Denver. And
So, Lewis, that you tried to pick up, I asked him twice. Lewis, and he said yes. And then he goes, it's Moose. And I said, okay, I asked you twice if it was Lewis. So it's Moose.
Hey,
Go figure.
Well, I'd rather have Moose on than Lewis.
Yeah, well, he put it on me. I'm like, dude, not a normal name.
You got a good story, Julian. I'm glad you got rid of all that stuff from the back.
Can I show you guys? Can I show you my last mug shot?
No, wait.
I think you showed it to me.
I think I want to see it though.
So we had that MMA fighter. He has a good story too. Tom had on. You've been both good on.
Oh my God!
Look how small he is.
What?
Small, right?
I would not. I swear to God, I wouldn't even know it's you.
Yeah. You can see all of my mug shots, the pattern of them as it declined.
You must just be.
What year was that?
That was 2009. Yeah.
But you built yourself up a lot.
Yeah.
Where's your family?
They're all in New Mexico.
Your dad must be happy, unless he
Oh,
didn't know you had a problem.
Yeah, no, they're all.
Did they all know you had a problem?
Yeah. Here as well.
Was it a lot like Raleigh?
It was an extended program. I was there for 9 months.
Oh my God.
I also had some pretty heavy-duty legal stuff hanging over me that I had to
Did
take
you ever
care
have to
of.
go to jail?
I didn't. I was in jail before I got to go to treatment, but I didn't actually have to get sentenced to any time, and my record is clear. I took care of everything, so that's always a nice thing.
That MMA
How long you been in
fighter.
Raleigh?
Oh, about a year and a half now.
Cool.
You like
Your
it?
volume's not working here. Brenda's up and ready.
Volume's not working.
Ready to go.
Oh, for her. No, you got a good
Well,
story,
good seeing you,
Julian.
man.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Okay. If for some reason we get any stragglers, we will call your cell.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll be available.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Talking with him, you'd never think that he had a
Oh
problem
my
like that.
God! Did you see that photo? I can't even believe it's him. I can't.
Just like that, Ian, you know, Ian won his last fight in Phoenix, right? He's
Ian's a good guy.
Oh, he is a good guy. I mean,
But man, what shit he was through. And in Rikers Island, beating the shit. I mean, they had to
absolutely.
fight. He literally had to fight for his life.
It's a book. It's a movie. It's. I hope he gets to go to the UFC.
Well, that's what'll make it a movie.
Yeah. And he's no slouch. I mean, his fight. You see him? Do you ever pull him up on YouTube? That guy's tough. I mean, tough. He's not just your standard guy that says, "Yeah, I'm going to make it in there." No, he's a UFC fighter.
He goes after.
Oh man, he's a.
Do you follow UFC at all?
I
used
not
to
really,
follow
not
boxing.
really.
I used to follow
Oh,
boxing.
UFC
I
so much
love
more
boxing.
exciting.
Well, I imagine it is. Oh my God! But boxing was a whole
Really?
big
Got into it?
deal. It's a big. It used to be a big deal. I mean, like Super Bowl shit. I mean, the people that follow it are a weird sort too. You know, they're like dressed up and.
Oh really?
No,
Where
really.
they go to the fights?
Yeah.
Really?
Fancy.
Oh, you mean the people around?
More.
Right. Yes. You're right. You're right. You see that around the people around the ring and stuff. But you're right. It's like a. Yeah. But UFC to me is just so much more exciting. I mean, there's so much more to it. There's wrestling. There's submission. There's boxing. There's kicking. You should have him on again. He'd be a good one.
This Valentine's Day, tell the ones you love just
When they got a story like that, it's really. I'd say that there is help for everybody.
This is not a big deal. Daff, not a big deal. But just for you, his name is Ivinson. Ivinsin. Ivinsin. I can't hear you.
That's all she had.
You're not coming through. You have to learn how to talk through this. Doesn't work. Now I can talk. Oh. It doesn't matter. Make sure Suzanne knows too. It doesn't matter except if we ever have to tell anyone his name. That's why I said it's not a big deal. Here, I wrote it down though, so look at it. It's weird.
Listen, Brent Iverson. I mean, you say it right all the time.
So I've been verifying being delivered next week. You used.
That's a 42-hour one, right?
That's only 42 hours. It's going to be so cute. Got rid of that fucking lousy piece of shit. No, it wasn't a piece of shit. It was beautiful. I hate cars. Don't
really?
Cars. Yeah.
Cars?
I hate them. I mean,
they depreciate?
Yeah, everything about them. What? Okay, what?
They didn't analyze the oil or anything else. The guy felt it and said, I don't think that's the right oil.
I mean, the fluid, you mean?
Yeah, the right fluid.
I guess it is. It would be oil in the transmission, right?
Yeah, it's usually like red or actually Honda.
So it's not technically the wrong stuff. They don't really know.
They don't know.
Okay, let's talk to him. That's a
I
good
talked
follow-up.
to him and
But
I
I
said,
wanna
get it
talk
to
to
another
him.
dealer.
Where is he?
He's offline.
No. Okay.
So
Yeah, we want to talk to people on the air to show our actions. So
Well, he had already hung up with that.
can you get that guy back on? Because I want to chastise Empire on the air. We got a follow-up. He knows what the follow-up is, but I still want him on.
Martino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. This hour brought to you by Ideal Home Loans. I'm a consumer advocate, been doing this for nearly 40 years in Denver, longer elsewhere. This is the longest running radio show currently on the air with the same host, and I am so proud of what I do because of what you do, which is help me do what I do. And I'm not talking about only the people who trust me to give them help, but the people who help us help others, like our experts at referralist.com. Yes, that's a form of advertising, pre-screened, highly monitored. But those people also act as our experts. We've recovered literally hundreds of millions of dollars for consumers with problems over the years. You know, Brent Iverson is one of those experts we use in the home loan department to help us to get through mortgage problems and complaints and to understand the industry. He's been with me for many, many years. He's the president and owner of Ideal Home Loans, and he wants to talk now about VA loans. Brent?
Well, Tom, you know, you want to talk about a product that can really, really help eligible veterans. A lot of them are under the impression that using their eligibility is a one and done, and that's not the case. And here's why it is such a great product. On the refinancing side of things, you can borrow 100% of your home's current appraised value to consolidate bills, to pay off debt, to get cash out for home improvements, all with no monthly mortgage insurance. On the buying side of the table, if you're looking to buy a home and you're an eligible veteran, you can buy a home with no money down. You can finance 100% of the purchase price. And the great thing is rates on these products are still in the high threes. This is one of the easiest to qualify products for in the industry and one of the most aggressive in terms of benefit to the borrower.
And you will help them structure it to know how to do it and walk them through it. Brent, when you talk about in general your written guarantees, what are they?
You know, we put everything in writing up front. We guarantee that it won't change from the time we start till we go to closing. And then we also have our interest rate guarantee where, hey, if rates come down 0.75% or more within 2 years of doing a home loan with us, and this is whether you refinance or buy with us, we will refinance your existing home loan with no lender fees so you can take advantage of falling interest rates and secure a lower monthly mortgage payment.
Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. 303-6, their number, I know it by heart, 303-867-7000. That's 303-867-7000 or idealhomeloans.com. Okay. Doug, you called earlier and we did some follow-up. I know you know what it is. I wanted to tell people what it is. You went to Empire Nissan. You're having,
Correct.
you bought a new car, beautiful new Nissan. You're having a problem with the shifting patterns, especially when mountain driving. One guy says, wait a minute, this is a wrong fluid in it, and we're going to have to flush and refill. It's going to cost you $270. And you said, wait a minute, this is a brand new car under warranty. In fact, I purchased the super duper pooper scooper warranty, and why should I have to pay? And he goes, well, it's, you know, fluids. We never cover fluids or normal maintenance. And you're saying, well, yeah, I understand that if it was just normal maintenance, but this is a problem that you diagnosed with the wrong fluid. That was it in a nutshell, right?
That's correct.
And
Clint educated me. But go ahead.
Clint, what did he say when you called him?
Well, he said, you know what?
What? Clint, what did the guy tell you personally? Was what I'm asking. Clint?
Well, they haven't tested the fluid. They haven't they haven't sent it in. There's no way to know there's the wrong fluid.
Why did he say it was the wrong fluid?
It looked wrong. It felt wrong.
It felt wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, Doug, they're just shooting from the hip. They don't know what's wrong with your car.
Yeah.
So what you need to do, really, truly, you need to go to another Nissan dealer right from the start. In fact, what I would not do, and this is very hard for you because people have a tendency to want to tell stories, I would not go through the litany of problems. Here's what I would say. I would say nothing about fluids, nothing. I would say, I'm having a shifting problem with my car, especially when I'm in the mountains. I don't care for the service department at Empire, so I'm coming here. That's it. You don't have to go through problems. Here's why. When people go to dealers with stories, they are perceived differently. I know that doesn't sound like logical, but it is. And you're treated differently, and they may already discount you. I'll give you another example. When I get a letter, and there's a CC at the bottom, and they CC me, no, well, it's not me, I mean, they send it to me, and they CC Channel 9, I'll say, okay, you know, they're CCing Channel 9. Then Channel 7, all right, Channel 4. Then they CC the State Attorney General, the District Attorney. Then you start seeing, wait a minute here. Then they CC the Chief of Police. And then they CC their local representatives and congressmen and senators. But the real nut jobs, the more CCs, the more nutty. And the supreme nuts are when they CC the president. And I swear to God, I have seen these letters. So how do I know there's a nut? Because they CC too many people, and you know those people don't care. And then the absolute positive way to know they're a nut, I call them margin writers. They have written so much on the letter, or typed so much, they can't fit more, so they start writing up the margin by hand, or down the margin. Have you seen that? You know exactly what I'm talking about. And then, of course, I just totally discount when they start switching to crayon. That's like, okay, they took away the sharp objects. 303-713-TALK. Let's talk to Moose now. Moose, I'm Tom Martino. What's going on, Moose?
Hello, Mr. Tom.
What's happening?
Big fan of you, bro.
Thank you, man. What's going on?
I've been trying to get Social Security disability.
Oh, that's now, hard to get. Hard to get.
It's been since 2014, actually.
Yeah, that's not unusual for it to take a couple years, unless you have a good attorney on your side. Now, for those,
well, that's what I do. That's the problem. Is Backus and Schenker Law Firm? Every time I don't hear from them unless I contact them.
Okay, let me just say something quickly. When it comes to SSDI, the Social Security Disability application, it can take a year to two, but here's the other thing about it. A good attorney, when they have an application date, or whatever it takes, you usually get, or not usually, you get retroactive pay from the time you apply.
Right.
All right.
I understand all that.
So what's the problem? I know you said communication, but get to some very specifics.
Okay, specifics. Every time that I get a hold of them, because they don't contact me, So specifically, they switch case managers on me. I've had 7 case managers in 3 years, and just recently I got another one, and they always tell me, well, Social Security has made a decision, but we don't know the decision, and if you hear from Social Security, let us know. If we hear, we'll let you know. But they always tell me, oh, it's under review for 30 days.
You know, Moose, it's a terrible system, and it may not be their fault.
Well, it just seems funny that every time they have an answer, they switch me to another case manager.
Yeah,
and that
I know.
Case manager
Listen,
says,
of all the
okay,
stuff they do,
30 days.
You know, Backus and Schenker probably do more advertising than any personal injury firm in America. I mean, I'm just exaggerating a little, but you'll see them on buses, on billboards, on benches. Here's the point I'm making. They have a giant shop, it's called, in the industry. They have a giant shop filled with hungry lawyers, and they have to churn cases to make money. They have to. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they do a bad job, but I call it tibitaba, and that is what they are. Tibitaba is TBA, which is too big to be attentive. It's impossible. Impossible. Right. Not that they are bad. Now, I'm not going to throw stones at them like I would for, you know, the strong arm, big ass, and the bulldog, you know, the bulldog crap and all that. But I understand they're just too big, okay? They're a churning shop. You're not going to get a handhold. You're not going to get personal attention. You're just not. And of all the stuff they do, Social Security Disability probably pays the least. In fact, well, you're lucky. I'm saying this. You're lucky you have a firm to take it at all. More and more people are getting out of the damn business. It's so difficult. So, now, I don't mean to make excuses and say just go away. Since 2014 seems a little excessive, 14, 15, 16, 17, what do you want us to do, Moose? You want us to call them? What do you want us to do?
I was just going to see if maybe you could call and ask why I'm always getting switched to a different case manager.
Well, it could be they don't retain the employee. I don't know.
Who cares?
Well, it could be that the people leave the firm. I mean, how many different ones have you had?
7.
Oh, my God. 7?
Hey, Moose, what's wrong with you?
7 in 2.
Dan has a question for you.
Hey, Moose, what's wrong with you? What's your disability?
Chronic pancreatitis. I've got a really...
Pancreatitis?
Yes.
I have never heard that as being a disability.
Chronic pancreatitis.
Really?
When it hits, it will floor you. I curl up in a ball like a little baby.
How often do you get it? How often do you get it?
I don't know. It just happens.
And you're sure you... Okay. And you're sure that's what it is? You're sure that's what it is?
Oh, yeah. I've got doctor... I mean, I've been in the... I was Flight for Life from Pueblo, where I live, to Denver 2 different times. Because... And then I throw up blood.
I don't know. Okay. TMI right now. TMI. So, boom, Moose, what do you want us to do, sir?
If you could just find out why they always switch.
That's not the question you should be asking, Moose. What you should be asking is, where is this case and why has it taken so long? It could be you don't have... It could be, Moose. Have you been turned down once already?
I don't know. I believe so.
I'll bet you have. I'll bet you have, and I'll tell you why. Most people get turned down the first time. The first time.
Right.
But, Moose, it's also because you probably have a bad case. I'm not saying you can't get it or you're not telling the truth. I'm saying in the eyes of Social Security Disability, it seems like a real stretch. because a chronic condition doesn't necessarily equate to a disability in their eyes. I'm not talking, you don't have to convince me, don't even waste your time, I believe you, but I'm talking about Social Security.
Right.
Okay.
When I broke my back in 5 places, I have not been able to work.
All right, hold on. Well, you can't now you're switching disabilities, Moose. You can't do that. Is it the broken back or is it pancreatitis?
It's everything.
Well, you can't have everything. Honest to God, you can't. You got to have something. Do you have a doctor? See, this is the problem.
Yes.
How old are you, Moose?
I'm 55.
Okay. It's possible that you're all over the board and you don't have a specific disability.
Well, the thing is, they gave me a case number. Backus and Shanker said they would definitely take my case.
Okay, hold on. Just hold on. Can we give him a quick call? Here's what you need, though. Daff, we got to go through the whole thing with a fax, him saying it's all right to talk, or them doing it on the phone. He has to do that. It's a pain in the ass when we're talking about legal stuff. So,
Moose, have you just written to Social Security?
We're on to another thing right now. We really can't spend more time on it. So talk to him off the air. It would be great. Ask him that question. Why? Do you really believe that writing to them is going to... Come on. Clint, writing to Social Security? Really? You get a status. To get a status? Or why don't you call... Okay, call directly, Moose, Why don't you call directly with a case number and just ask them what your status is? I guess I would call them, though. Let's talk about this special that it's so special we have to limit it to 5 people in each location. Al Aramis, as you know, the owner of Pro Auto Care, 2 locations, near Evans and I-25 and near Bowles and Santa Fe. You can find out more at 303proauto.com. 303proauto.com. And what do you have going on, Al?
Well, your dear listeners know a good deal. And it's certainly when you walk up to a register and you go pay for stuff on your own to do an oil change, to change your wiper blades, and then to do the labor behind all that, it is really hard to pass up a deal when I put a great deal. So if you need an oil change, a tire rotation, with your inspection, I'm going to charge you $19.95. If you want wiper blades for the front and standard sizes, $25.99.
Oh my God!
That is a cheap deal, and we're putting ankle blades.
Now, how much are you? How much did you say?
$25.99.
$25.99.
Yeah, for wipers, oil change, rotation, inspection, battery test, charging fluid, roadside assistance, and me. You get 26 years of doing it right.
$25.99, the 5 callers each location, and you get all of that, tire rotation and wiper blades, for $25.99. 303-PRO-AUTO is the phone number, 303-PRO-AUTO, and the website, 303proauto.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Yes. His sister Darla got in an accident with quadriplegic. I remember. No. Is that what I remember? Was she, because we redid her. Oh, yeah, that's a sister. She got killed. I mean, well, she was quadriplegic for about a year until she died. But they tried to apply for Social Security disability with her quadriplegic and got turned down. But that was the one I remember that they couldn't get anything with the attorney, and the Social Security did answer their letters on what the status where they were.
An attorney wouldn't take it?
Huh? No, an attorney had it, but they were having the same problem. They couldn't get much of an answer out of the attorney. She died a year later. I think they actually snuffed. I think she actually snuffed herself. But really, yeah, she just couldn't live with being a quad.
That's a tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
Especially her. She was a little house on the prairie woman.
She's very tough.
Yeah, she cut her own. She chopped her own firewood with fires.
Jeez, Clark, how'd you break her back?
Turned left in front of a big truck in a little tiny car. Would never wear a seatbelt.
Did you ever apply for disability and stuff when you broke your back and stuff?
Yeah, they put me on.
Oh, they did. Short term though.
No, they ended up saying I was 100% disabled.
Oh, so you're getting
Yeah, I was surprised. I was actually not even trying to do that. When I applied to work again, they didn't want to hire me until they knew what level of disability I had, so they wouldn't get stuck with,
something else
workman's comp, because I never filed workman's comp. It wasn't a workman's comp loss. And if you go to work with that severe of a problem, and it's never had a workman's comp, they could get nailed for workman's comp. So I just went for a status of declare the percentage, and they said 100%. Well, the first year and a half, I was in a wheelchair. Right after I broke my back.
Just like Julian, you never would expect he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I was in a wheelchair for a year and a half. And it wasn't that I couldn't walk, it was I'd fall. I'd be walking along, my legs would just come out from under me. Downtown, the old Median F downtown, remember that?
The what?
The old Median F downtown. Anyway, I fell down the escalator and hurt 3 elderly ladies.
Like a bowling ball.
Yeah, my leg just went out from under me and I hurt those 3 ladies. I felt really bad about it.
Okay, I resent the ideal. I was wrong on that. The ideal is 867.
Hi, Tom Martino here, and after Tracy, we have wide open lines. What does that mean? I'll get right to you, number one. Number two, you can call about anything, any problem, question, or complaint you have or want. Not that you want. Any help you need, just tell us what you want. Also, sometimes you just want to vent. That's what I love about this show. When you have that bad treatment, when you have someone who pisses you off, when you have something that is just unjust and you say, no one is listening, I promise a listening ear. Now, I may not agree with you, but if you want to just rant or rave, maybe give an on-air review, positive or negative, you can do it. 30 seconds, uninterrupted. Hit and get. It's all yours. 303-713-TALK. I let you know whenever lines are open, so you never have to wait. 303-713-8255. Tracy's turn. Okay, Tracy, what's going on?
Well, in October, I had a siding company, Power Home Remodeling, come to my door and offer to give me a quote on some siding on my house and gutters.
All right.
And that was October 7th. I met with the initial salesperson.
All right. When did you sign the contract?
October 17th.
Okay. And it was October 17th, I assume, of 17?
Correct.
Okay. And so, how much was it?
$33,000.
$33,000. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And how much have you paid? The whole thing?
I have not paid a dime yet.
Okay, well, that's good. It puts you in the driver's seat. Why haven't you paid? What's wrong? What's going on?
Well, I signed the contract in October and got a date of January 8th for the work to begin.
Okay.
It was already past my 3-day cancellation time that they gave in the contract.
Well, hold on. You said 10/17 was the contract date, right?
Right.
Okay, so you would have had to, you had 3 days, but that has nothing to do with canceling. You could have still canceled.
Well, I called corporate and they told me that there was no way I could cancel.
No, what I meant was you could have canceled in your 3 days, but you had no reason to.
At that point, correct.
So what gave you reason? On the 17th of what?
Of October, when they came back and told me...
When you signed the contract.
We're measuring. Well, they came and measured everything.
Yeah.
Said they could order it. And then they gave me a date of... no, I signed the contract on the 7th. The 17th, they came out and did all the measuring and gave me the install date, which was January 8th of 2018.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal, all right? It doesn't really matter. You signed the contract. They did the job. It's just a bad job. Is that the bottom line? We don't have to go through the whole story. You had them. They did a bad job. It just boils down to that. So what do they say about it? Do we have the pictures, Dan? I'm told you have.
Yeah,
did you send them to me?
I sent them to you, and I got them up now.
Note from. Is this from Davis, Husak Davis or something? Is that? I don't even know. I don't have any photos here. Is that you? Where are the photos, Dan? Oh, they're at the bottom. Okay. All right. Let's look at that. All right. So, I see that dimple there over the garage door. I mean, I'm seeing some small problems. Are they all tiny problems like this?
No, there's some other issues where the gutters aren't meeting up, and we're having leakage already. The siding's only been on for a week.
So they did siding and gutters?
Yes.
Okay, but let's say all of these problems together, what will it take to fix? It doesn't look like, it's not like the actual siding itself looks pretty straight and looks like nice siding, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about some cosmetic dents and dings and some finish and trim, we call it. So what do you think? Did you have anyone give you an opinion on what it would take to fix those minor flaws?
Well, I called the company back and told them it wasn't acceptable.
Yeah, of course.
And they fixed it. And it still wasn't
fixed what? Oh, they made an attempt to fix it. Did they fix any of them at all?
They came out, had a new crew come out and put new trim on.
Like that? Did they? For example, that scuff you showed me. It's not in context, so I can't say where it is. But it's a scuff. It looks like a white scuff mark. That's the best word I have for it. Did they fix that?
There's some things they're refusing to fix.
Like what? Give me an idea of something they're refusing to fix.
The gutter, the one end of the gutter, it goes too far.
Yeah. You don't have a photo of that.
It should be in one of those photos.
Well, there's only 4 photos.
Oh, there should be more photos.
Where are the photos, Dano?
That's all I got.
We only have 4 photos, man. We have some text messages.
Okay.
Anyway, what are they saying about the gutter? Let's get right to that.
They're saying that it was an issue with the roof.
What does that mean?
And they didn't do the roof and the shingles.
It could be, but what? Like, give me an example. Did they tell you what or why? Did they explain it to you?
He said it could be ice damming, but he wouldn't know till he got up there and looked, and he never got up there and looked.
Okay, what are all these? Are the blues you or them? The texting. It looks like they're not answering.
Yeah.
Are the blue texting is you?
Yes.
Why did you? Okay, but they didn't answer you. So what the hell's the difference? I mean, it's just a bunch of ranting from you.
Well,
It said one response. Hi Tracy, thanks for taking the time to reach out to me. I'm going to inquire with our Denver office about why the reschedule. I don't care about that. Okay. So what about? You're right. I want to know. Do they in these texts? You sent them for a reason. You're right. I can use a note from our operations VP along with your project number, so we are aware of your concerns. Okay. Our sincere apologies for the inconvenience. One of the, let's see, the specialists resolving each and one of your items referenced above will be contacting you. Did they ever contact you about each and every thing?
They did not contact me about everything. My biggest issue was the subcontractors, the use of subcontractors. I don't trust subcontractors.
Well, everyone uses subcontractors at one time or another. So let's get to this. Let's get to the heart of it. You don't have control over that. What you do have control over is quality. If you don't like it, you shouldn't have to accept it unless you're being impossible. It doesn't look like you're being impossible, some of these photos you sent me. So are they going to, when was the last time they were at your house? It's a very simple question. Are they going to fix it?
They were there yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to go out and look. They finished when it was dark.
But at least they are trying, we can say, right? You're just frustrated. All right.
I'm extremely frustrated.
What about all this highlighted yellow stuff? Did you write that, or did they?
No, I wrote all that.
Okay. What is all that?
Those are the things that they did not.
I think you're burying them. I think it's too much. In other words, I'm not doubting you have a problem, but your description and wordiness, it tends to, I think, I don't think they're reading it. It's too much.
Okay.
I can't even. Like, I would, if I were you, and I think this goes for a lot of people, the art of complaining actually helps you. And I think it sounds to me like they may not even know what to do because there's too much wording. If you could sum it up for them, and we can help you. We're going to be your friend here in helping you sum it up. So you hold on a sec, all right? And we'll get to that. And we'll talk about it. So I would suggest that you truly take the time to listen to us, summarize everything, because you've inundated them with too much. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair has that special I told you about. So listen to it carefully. $89 plus parts will fix anything on your car, or it's free. But you don't just walk away empty-handed for free. you get a full, complete diagnostic. Now, the only reason they wouldn't be able to do it for $89 plus parts is if it's a major component, and you'll know, so they're not going to play games with you. You know, they're not going to get everyone in and tell everyone we can't do it. I mean, they wouldn't make any money. They want to fix problems, and they say about 85 to 90% of all problems can be done for $89 plus parts. So if it is major, you will get a complete written diagnostic with no cost at all. So it's $89 to find, fix, or it's free. And they will take you in the garage area, the service area, and show you exactly what's wrong. They love showing people what's up. That's what I love about Mark Machowski and his team. They want you to be fully informed. 303-781-9858. 303-781-9858. Now, an important programming note. We have open lines after Tracy. We're going to help Tracy. You can get right through. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. You'll get right through if someone lied to you, cheated, ripped you off, or you just want to sound off about anything.
From the Fox Business Network, all Wall Street stocks are moving higher in afternoon trading.
Eyes glaze over after a while when you start looking at her whole story. No, that was too much. Yeah, it's way too much. I agree with you. Chase will not transfer leases, that's correct. Why? But she can qualify to buy them. They want to do that.
Yeah, but she wanted to, she got good payments.
Yeah. Your advice is exactly what you should do. As long as they get their money, they're not going to be a complaint, and they see insurance.
Consumer confidence is at a 17-year high. Wow.
No, but it's that's different. Confidence.
Well, that's why they're confident, because of the stock market looks like. That tax proposal was brilliant. Getting that.
On the State of the Union, they were saying that the minority unemployment rates were the highest.
Lowest in history.
Yeah, lowest.
But the Black Caucus, sat
No, but here's what I hear. That he's a racist. Where did that come from? Why?
I've asked that also. One place is where remember during the not the election.
It's free, and there's
when he was running during
don't get
unwanted well, I don't know if it was the primary. When that one, they were having this big, all the things, and that one black guy was flipping everybody off, and he was walking up, and a guy came out of the stands and punched him, and then Trump said the next day he would pay for the guy's lawyer. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah. And he said, he did that because he's going to pay for guys.
You can say anything.
He's going to pay because it's what?
The guy, a white guy came out and punched the black guy who was flipping everybody off as he was getting kicked out. And then Trump said he would pay for the white guy's lawyer.
Weather forecast: partly sunny today, chilly, a high
really doesn't have as much to do with colors as it does in behavior, but
right now mostly.
Then of course was what he said on Mexicans coming over the border, which was was misinterpreted. He said they're sending us our worst people, they're sending us rapists and whatever. But really what he meant is that they are sending some, but it's not everybody. He just doesn't qualify. That's what gets him in trouble.
Back in the 90s,
No, he does make it sound like everybody who comes out of Mexico is a criminal.
Yeah, which is not right at all. Nobody really realizes that.
They did empty the jails out down there and send a bunch of them up here back in the 90s.
In the 90s, really?
Yeah, in the mid-90s, that when Vicente Fox was president down there.
You're not talking Cuba, are you?
No, I'm talking about Mexico. Vicente Fox was president in Mexico.
We took a bunch of people from...
We didn't take them. They drove them up to the border. The
really?
Guys out of jail drove them right up there. They went right into Phoenix. My son lived there at the time.
Do you remember the big Cuba thing, though? And then
yeah, they left the jails out there and sent them over there, too.
They said they'd take all the people. They said, let's get rid of all our mental institutions. Let's get rid of the jail. That was, I can't remember who was president during that time.
Yeah, we are a dumping ground for everybody, and that's not, in Australia, you have to prove that you benefit the country to come there. You have to prove it.
And Australia gives us crap.
Yeah, I know.
But I agree with you, Tom. I'm not sure where they pick up the racists and stuff.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. If you're looking for a great company for garage doors, whether it be a spring that broke and you don't know who to call, or you just want a checkup, or you need to get some maintenance done, or you want a new garage door, oh, they have them, like new garage doors starting at or openers for $333, a new garage door opener. And I did complete garage doors, too. You can get great deals. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. It is simply the best garage door company around. 303-565-6409. 303-565-6409. Tracy has a bad siding job we're looking at, and I don't know how bad it is. But here's what I want to tell you, Tracy, and everyone else. I know people think that if they're organized and if they delineate everything, they're going to get attention. And sometimes it's just the opposite. Words scare people, even if it's clearly worded. Now, it's wonderful to be organized and to complain in an organized way, but it must be very brief. I'm going to give you an example. I mean, I can't even begin to, you start out with, as you know, I've had concerns of a project happening in our homes, and it goes on and on and on. I would do this, and we're going to help you, and we're going to call them, and we're going to say, for the most part, the siding job is wonderful. There are minor problems that need to be addressed. Here they are. That's it. And then go, and you must also recommend solutions if you know about them. There are dings and dents in several areas. I would accept replacement if it can be done, replacement parts. That's it, I'm sure that you can find a length to fit in or something. That's it. And on the vented, who am I speaking to now?
This is Tracy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah. At first, I thought, what? Okay. So Tracy, on your vented soffit, what is the problem with your vented soffit? What's the problem?
Well, it's leaking above my front door.
Okay. The vented soffit above the front door is leaking. Now, but what do you mean leaking? That it's a vented soffit is just a vent for air. So what if water's coming out of it? It's not their fault. Why is water coming out of it?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. But that's
not their fault. Did they do your roof?
No.
They would have nothing to do. They would have. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. They did your gutter. Okay. So here's what's happening. The drip edge going into the gutter wasn't done properly. So you can say there's water present at the vented soffit above the front door. I believe the drip edge, or I believe the gutter might be leaking there. That's it. You don't, I don't know why you have to keep going, and don't talk about non-English speaking people. And, I know what you're doing, and I understand why. When people have what I call a bad experience, they almost feel compelled to let people know about their misery. Really, from the beginning. People love saying, oh, from the very beginning I had this and people didn't speak English and then they said this, and trying to get it started like you did. You wanted to start at the beginning and tell me about your misery. Don't take people on a misery journey. Don't do anything, even if it was a totally bad experience. You can say all of that afterwards. I'm gonna put you on hold because I don't want to catch a cold. Okay, so what you need to do is you just need to be brief and don't recap how miserable you are. At the end, you can give them a review of how you feel. And it's that simple. So Tracy, do you mind taking a stab at telling her contractor? And then can you go through your follow-ups, please, after I take these calls? Okay, I want every follow-up that we gave. We gave you like 4 or 5 today. Otherwise, you're going to be like Deputy Dan. It just goes away and I never see it again. I'm just kidding, Dan. You do a good job. So Tracy, hold on. Deputy Clint's going to talk to you about summarizing your problems. And I mean summarizing them, okay? 303-713-TALK. Steve's got a toilet problem. Something you don't want to have if you got to go. What's going on, Steve?
Okay, maybe you never heard of this one. I think it's a new one. We'll see.
Okay.
The problem with my toilet is that underneath the lip of the toilet, you got all these little holes, okay?
Wait, when you lift up the toilet?
No, under the lip of the toilet.
Under the rim there.
Under the rim. Yeah. Oh, when you pick up the toilet seat, you have holes on the porcelain?
Yeah, on the porcelain underneath the lip, there's holes.
Oh, where the water comes out. Yes.
Yeah, the water comes out.
Okay, yeah, I know. Okay, sorry.
Okay. And the problem I'm having is that the holes keep plugging up, and when they do unplug, about quarter-inch diameter algae comes out of the hole.
Wait a minute. Steve, you mean when you flush your toilet and we all see the water that comes from around the rim, right?
Yep.
All of those holes around the rim, they get plugged up?
They get plugged up.
How?
With algae.
With algae? Why algae?
I have no idea.
Wait.
Maybe you might know.
Okay, hold on. Is this a regular toilet in a house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how often does it get plugged up?
About every 2 times you flush it.
And how do you clear it? Do you take a brush around the up under the lip?
We've tried. There's just little small holes, and
well, I know they're so. I mean,
yeah, we just took a toothpick up in there.
Wait a
and
minute.
all the holes.
You literally put a toothpick in each of those little holes?
Each one of them little holes. Okay.
I have never heard of such a thing. I've never heard of such a thing.
That's what I said. There's going to be a new one, I'm sure. And what's funny is you take a toothpick and you clean every one of the little holes out.
Right.
Flush it, and then a whole bunch of algae comes out of the little holes, and then, oh shit, it ain't, but maybe 4 or 5 days later you see little chunks of algae come out of this hole or that hole.
How long has this been happening, Steve?
It's been going on now for about 2 or 3 months.
Do you have other toilets in the house?
No, I only have one. But I will tell you that if you you turn on the faucet in the bathtub to take a bath.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, you can turn on the bathtub, faucet to take a bath, and no algae comes out.
No algae.
No chunks, no nothing.
Algae in the toilet only.
On the toilet only.
Why? Why? What do you think it is?
Do you have one? Is this one of the shorter toilets?
No, it's actually one of the little taller ones.
Taller ones. Some of the new toilets actually share.
Hold on. How old is this toilet?
This toilet here is, and that's what's funny is it never did on the other.
How old is the toilet?
This toilet here is about 3 to 4 years old.
Okay. What about new toilets?
Some of the new toilets, and I have one I'm getting rid of, actually share the water in the bowl within the tank.
What do you mean by that? I don't even know what that means.
Instead of coming down from the tank into the bowl, they share water, and you get the smell.
What does that mean?
Because it's dirty water in the bowl, it backs up into the tank and then forms algae.
Hold on. You have a tank, and when you flush, the water is released. What do you mean by sharing water?
The water in the tank and the water in the bowl.
Yes.
Are back into each other.
What do you mean back into each other?
Well, you get the dirty water back into the tank.
I don't understand what you mean. There's even no way to do that.
Mine does the same. I got one that does the same thing. Is it black algae that comes out?
No, it's green.
Kind of green?
No,
Mine's black.
Hold on. You're saying when you flush a toilet, the flapper valve comes up and the water rushes out. Then the flapper valve closes. So how is the water mixing?
I don't know, but you look in those new squatty toilets and there's algae all over the inside of the tank.
The tank itself, not the toilet.
We had a caller call in saying put bleach in the tank because that's where the algae is growing.
I would say vinegar. I would fill that whole thing up with vinegar.
Why not Clorox?
And you could, but you're going to get a smell from that.
And don't put Clorox and vinegar together.
Right, but vinegar, just fill up with vinegar is such a good cleaner, even for hard water and everything.
Have you tried cleaning it? Hold on a second. Well, if anybody has an idea, I have just never heard of something. Can you go take Tracy? Or are you going to do that later? You're going to do that later. We don't have time. Clint, get ready with some of these follows I've given you so we can figure out what's going on. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. No one better. If you want to sell your home, you'll sell it for more money. You'll sell it quicker. He has stats to prove it. He has a team that both buy and sell for people. They will help you sell. They will also help you find a place. He's helped me with both. He's helped Mark and Suzanne. He has helped all of my friends and neighbors, and they have raving reviews for him, and we get reviews all the time. Frank is simply such a good person, let alone a real estate guy and a master negotiator. I watch him at work. 303-920-1622. 920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
Okay, my damn short toilet upstairs does that.
I don't see how can the valve has got to be
I
wrong.
don't even understand.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Because once it goes, and the flapper valve, there is no mechanism for a vent to mix.
To shoot it back
There's
out.
no,
Right.
because
That's what I was told, and it does grow algae. Just that one toilet.
Oh, I agree. There's algae in there. He's got algae in there. He's got to kill the algae.
Yeah, and they told me
in the tank.
They
And
told me
it's the tank, and then all the way through, where it
It's a
goes
European
up in
toilet.
there. I'm sure it's all full of that.
It's one of the short ones, a European toilet. But they said a lot of those toilets, when they
Well,
flush,
he's got a
at some point it backs the dirty water back up into the tank.
Because they're so, the levels are so together. That what it's going up through the flapper valve. So after it flushes, it might flash.
Yeah,
it backsplashes. I can see where that. Okay, because here's what happens. That flapper valve doesn't come down quick enough, so it goes like this.
Yeah.
Right, and then it goes, and then it closes. That would happen.
Yeah, and it gets the smell.
Really?
Yeah, we've got to put Clorox in. We're getting rid of that toilet.
Vinegar is the best.
But not for algae.
Yeah, absolutely, it'll kill algae.
Our algae's kind of real dark green.
You know Clorox.
Clorox will
bleach.
really smell, but I mean, vinegar is good for the hard
Vinegar
water.
smells worse than.
Oh no, bleach. You think? I guess people have different smells. I don't
I mean,
think vinegar
Clorox
smells.
to me smells. I don't know if this makes sense.
It smells clean.
smell? Yeah.
You're right. I agree.
More than
I agree.
I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
what are the two combinations that'll kill you? Ammonia and Clorox, right? That'll kill you, literally.
Ammonia makes ammonium.
Oh, it'll kill you. People have died from it. You
Ammonium
know,
chloride.
women at home have died from
The clean, mixing up a clean.
the ammonia and Clorox.
Put them in the sink and put their head over it and get a whiff of it.
Something. What was the one we made rocket fuel? Baking soda and vinegar, was it?
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah, a
yes.
little rock.
In fact, but like I say, vinegar will clean even his bowl and everything. It'll kill the algae. It'll.
Okay.
He's got an algae problem underneath by those holes, and that's why it's
Well,
continuing.
ours, you actually open the tank and you see the black stuff in there.
And he's got that. He's
No,
crazy.
it's big enough
He
to never
wouldn't,
plugs it up. It's just this horrible
Bleach
black.
and vinegar
Bleach and vinegar.
will be toxic chlorine gas, will kill you.
Yeah.
Ammonia and bleach, toxic. Rubbing alcohol and bleach. Hydrogen peroxide and vinegar.
Wow.
Baking soda and vinegar.
That's not good. That's a bad gas.
Baking soda and vinegar is no, it's explosive.
Oh, it's
That's why it shoots the
goes up.
Explosive. It doesn't say dangerous. It
Yeah,
says-
it's not.
and then
It'll.
two different battery brands. Corrosion, medicine, and grapefruit juice. I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Steve, okay. You know, I know what I finally figured out what Clint's talking about. Sometimes with the low boy toilets, when you flush them and the flapper valve doesn't come down quick enough because the water levels are close, it'll flush out, and then a scoop of water might go back up through the flapper valve. And then the flapper valve closes, keeping the dirty water in the tank, and then it fills up with fresh water. The dirty water's mixed in there, eventually grows algae in the tank. You could be having that problem, and the reason that it started is because your flapper valve could be getting older, and it's not effective, or something is out of adjustment. What I would do is get a new flapper valve, no matter what. Never does wrong, and people should get new flapper valves about every 2 or 3 years, and I'll tell you why. A flapper, not 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 years, flapper valves can have microscopic little silt on them, not silt, minerals and stuff, and it'll keep it from completely closing, and you won't hear or see the leak, and it will cost you hundreds of dollars a year. Flapper valves should be regularly changed. So I would change the flapper valve, then I would put Clorox in the toilet tank to kill the algae, and I would clean. Have you ever scrubbed out? You're scrubbing the wrong place. Have you scrubbed out the toilet tank? Empty it out, turn off the water, and clean out the toilet tank once and for all. Have you done it?
Now, that's what I wanted to say.
That's what yeah, go.
The toilet tank itself is clean as a whistle.
What?
There ain't no algae in it.
Wait a minute, ain't no algae. Don't you tell me that. Now you're blowing my...
I'm telling you that right now.
Come on.
There's no algae in the tank. I mean, it's clean as it can be.
Now you're killing me, bro. You're killing me now. You're telling me there's
no algae in the tank. Like I say, it is clean. I mean,
what? Where is it? Okay, guys, now
It's
now
on the
that
rim. It's right before the holes. He's got an algae problem right below the holes. Now he's got to kill that by fill the tank up with vinegar or.
Oh, shut up with your vinegar. I want Clorox. I don't know why he loves vinegar. I like Clorox, but hey, listen. Have you tried cleaning up under the rim though? Why does algae sustain itself? Is that if you don't get it?
Oh, I'm sure if you don't kill it, yeah, because it's got fresh water coming in there all the time.
So. Did you ever take a brush with some Clorox or vinegar? Have you? Don't combine them, by the way, and I'm serious. Have you ever taken that and scrubbed it up under the rim there where the holes are?
No, I haven't done that.
Maybe there is algae that keeps coming back. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay, so would you do it and let us know? All right, Robert's got a question about buying a home. Go ahead, Robert. What's happening?
How you doing? So my daughter's trying to buy a house.
Yes.
But I mean, she doesn't. I mean, she thinks she's got enough money for the down payment, but probably not enough for closing. And she would like to stay away from the CHAFA loan. But is there any other programs that help with the down payment? I mean, with the closing or anything like that you know of?
Well, CHAFA's one. I don't know of any others. I know of low down payment programs. You know, 100% loans.
They go through CHAFA, don't they?
What's that?
They would all have to go through CHAFA and pay the
not
the mortgage.
No. There are some loans that have just are 100% loans.
Oh, okay. Like a small second or something like that.
No, well, no, 100% loans. But here's another thing: they're allowed to accept gifts from family members. Do you know anyone who can help them?
Not enough to get them to where they need to be.
Okay, how much do they need?
Well, they got about, I think it's about 10,000, but with the with the conventional, that you got to put the whatever percentage down.
Well,
they got enough.
No, but they listen. They have 98% loans, 95% loans. Have you actually talked to a lender?
She has talked to a lender, but like I said, they're steering her away from a CHAFA loan because of the mortgage, the mortgage insurance. To save on, to have more buying powers with their telling her.
No, that's true. But you will always have mortgage insurance with a low or no down payment, always.
Oh, okay.
So that's never going to go away. But well, I'm not going to say that. It will go away after you own the home for a little while. After you own the home for a little while, if you then have it reappraised and refinance, you can get rid of the mortgage insurance. But if you're trying to find something like CHAFA and expecting not to get mortgage insurance, there's nothing like that. I mean, you're not going to find anything. But unless it's a gift from a family member, and in order to do away with private mortgage insurance, what they call PMI, you have to have at least 20% down, I think it is.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, 20%, and that's considered conventional. If you go less than 20% down, you're going to be triggered. You're going to trigger private mortgage insurance. And then all FHA and VA loans have mortgage insurance. So I think you're just looking. I think you're just looking at the wrong product altogether.
Probably so.
So if I were you, I would have her either get a gift from a family or, people don't understand. You can use credit cards so long as it doesn't affect your debt ratio for miscellaneous costs. But then there is the situation where people simply can't afford a home at this time, and they have to save up a little more. Buying a home is a major step in someone's life, and I'd rather they do it the right way and save a little extra than trying to do it quickly and end up with a problem. Quickly, speaking of follow-ups, okay, can you tell me what you got? You made some calls.
I made some calls. Most of the stuff that we have today is not going to follow up today, but I have something that is really important.
What's that?
A lady named Caitlin called in last week.
Yeah.
And Shadow Ridge Apartments, they threw away everything in a garage she had stored there, put her in the wrong apartment. They've just, I mean...
And then they're trying to hold her to a lease.
They're trying to hold her to a lease that I have here. It's unsigned.
That's a good one. You know what? We got to do that earlier in the show. Shadow Ridge Apartments. We're working on that, Caitlin, if you're listening. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget referralist.com for help, information, and referrals. Save all your problems for me. Get a licensed plumber or HVAC tech in your home for just $39. A safe, complete, and...
Terrible echo. Okay, this is a hot mess. I know. Okay, well, what about all the other stuff? You got a list of them?
I got a list of them, but not much. I mean, either they got resolved right then.
Yeah, I know, but we gotta tell people when it was up. We got to have a master fucking follow-up list, okay? Let's have a meeting. I want to have a very short meeting downstairs after the show. We got to talk about follow-ups. I need to have a meeting.